How are you, Charlie?
There's a lot of wrestling this week. That's how I am.
Oh my God. Welcome to Last Week in Wrestling. I'm your host, Austin Glidden. Next to me is our co-host and show producer, Charlie Eckenbarger. And let me tell you this. If you want us to cover anything specifically, fuck you this week because we're covering it all. But normally, let us know. We'd be happy to do so. Listen, there's so much wrestling going on. There's actually a lot of news this week, and guess what? We're just gonna cover it by covering the wrestling because there's so much shit going on. Holy shit,
There's like
guys!
20 hours of wrestling this week or something like that. Like,
I watched 16 and a half, and 14 and a half of it was during the weekend.
yeah, it was absurd. It was an absurd weekend for professional wrestling fans or sports entertainment fans, whichever way you look at it.
God, we're gonna talk about sports entertainment later. Here's the thing. We're covering AEW Dynamite, which we're gonna review like we normally do. Probably do a little quicker just for the sake of brevity here, but AEW Rampage, which we'll also review, and then I want to touch on the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor show. This is the first pay-per-view since Tony Khan owned Ring of Honor, and it very much shows. It's very interesting. I'm just gonna overview this, and for anybody who might be watching this. Um, when I say review, I mean we'll actually have like a discussion about different parts. When it's an overview, I'm literally just going to kind of run down the card, talk about who won, maybe if there's a particular highlight that needs to be spoken, and then just let you know, like, yeah, you should totally check this match out. It's good, and then move on. There's going to be a lot of overview this episode because we have like 6 pay-per-views or whatever. So, anyways, but the Super Card of Honor we're going to overview, but there is one match I have to talk about. NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll talk about that, but it's just going to be an overview. And then WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, we're going to overview, but we'll have specific matches or moments that we want to specifically sit and discuss and kind of review. So it'll be a little back and forth, but it should be pretty fun. Charlie, are you ready to fucking dig in, dude? Because we got to get started.
Yeah, I mean we got a lot to go over today, so let's get into the shit, as they say.
I'm getting into the shit. Dynamite on March 30th, 2022 had a total viewership of 979,000 viewers. 18 to 49 key demo was a .38, which is down from last week, but about average to a couple weeks ago. The first match of the night, and quite frankly, I've watched so much fucking wrestling, I almost don't even remember these matches, so hopefully talking
Yeah, no
about them
kidding.
jogs them. The first match is CM Punk versus Max Caster.
Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least.
I didn't even
Interesting
know.
booking.
Yeah, I knew. I can't. I'm pretty sure this is the week, but I didn't know like Punk was wrestling. So when he came out in his gear, I thought he was just talking.
That was
You
last
know,
that
like
was last week too. We had this exact same conversation.
so. Then this week, I actually did know. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. The point is this: CM Punk versus Max Caster. This is a solid match. There were no major high spots, really. It was just fucking good wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like this is like a key thing about AEW that I see week in and week out, especially when you have people like CM Punk or Bryan Danielson or John Moxley, even or any of those like the bigger guys, Adam Cole's. Like the wrestling's just fucking good,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna juxtapose that to what we talk about later when we really get into some sports entertainment shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I don't have a ton of negative. Like we had a good time yesterday. I just want everybody to know I'm not gonna just like shit on all the WWE stuff. Though some of it I am, but the point is, this CM Punk Max Caster, like, there's not a ton to say about it. It was just fucking good, and you should just watch it.
Yeah, I think it really highlighted that everybody knows CM Punk's a good wrestler, but Max Caster, like singles, not bad. Like he's pretty goddamn good too. Both of those guys in the acclaimed are really just great wrestlers. And I really enjoyed his rap too, now that I remember. That was a fun one. And it even got CM Punk laughing. They showed him at it too, which I really loved.
That's part of what I like about CM Punk's gimmick, though, because he's not afraid to break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll just like his whole gimmick is like just being an everyman almost in terms of personality.
And I think you can
So
get away with that in that particular situation too, right? Because like there's no storyline between the two. Like they're just
yeah,
out there wrestling. And it was a good match. Good match.
it was. Yeah, and the rap was good, and Max Caster, like you said, I mean these guys. I remember seeing the acclaimed. They weren't a tag team when they first came into Dark, and then they were put in as a tag team, which is how a lot of people went. And because the same thing with like the Varsity Blondes, like they were individual wrestlers that they put together as a tag team. And man, Caster and why am I forgetting his name? Oh, Anthony Bowens.
Who's injured.
Caster and Bowens. Yeah, I know. Caster and Owens are like really good together. I mean, like they work really well together. I think they got into the tag thing really well. Really happy to see them doing so well. Anyways, Punk won, of course, with the Anaconda Vice submission. And in the post match, I almost said Schiavone, like Jericho used to say, but Shivani. I'm super tired, guys. It's like literally I watched wrestling so late last night. So, anyways, but Shivani comes down to Punk and Punk, explains the gesture, the belt gesture that he did the week prior because uh Shivani was just like, "What was that? What was that thing?" This is the stupidest fucking question I've ever heard. They even give him shit too.
Yeah.
Even CM Punk's like, "Are you stupid?" Of course. And then he just like asks the crowd to tell him why. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because he's
Yeah.
just like, "No, we know why. That's just a dumb question." And I ask questions like that sometimes, but like my reason for it is like I just want to hear it come from your mouth.
Yeah,
But it
yeah, yeah.
just didn't even sound like that. Like it just sounded like Shivani didn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it sounded like
Um,
he was actually perplexed.
yeah. Yeah, and they also made reference to how they said that it was a dog collar match reference whenever he did the thing, but then some people interpreted it as Hangman, like I did. And I like that they at least will acknowledge those things. Anyways, the point is, Punk says, "I have some gray in my beard, but before my time in AEW is done, I'll have a whole lot more." And he says the same thing about scars. He'll have a whole lot more by the time he's done. And he says another thing I'll have by the time I'm done is the AEW World Champion. Huge pop. People are fucking ready for a Punk reign. Um, yeah, what that's just interesting. We'll get there whenever the time comes with Hangman and Punk because that's just an interesting dynamic, especially since they're both baby faces. It just that's just interesting. So, anyways, the next segment is a backstage segment with MJF and FTR. And smart Mark Sterling, of course, putting up Wardlow photos because Wardlow is banned from the premises. We all know what's going to happen. MJF says we don't want Wardlow's name said anymore. He doesn't exist. And then he starts putting the Pinnacle over hard. This is mostly about that. He pretty much just says one line about Wardlow, and it's all about the Pinnacle. FTR takes over, and Dax says that both MJF and Wardlow are their FTR's friends, and that they don't want to be in the middle and have to choose sides. And MJF says, "Hey, you know, I get that, guys. Like, I totally get it. No beef, but just remember when you're in the Pinnacle, and then he puts his hand in for them to put their hand in, and FTR hesitantly puts their hand in after a few seconds. Says, "You're always on top." And that is the backstage segment. They've had a ton of backstage dude. Like Rampage usually just has 4 matches, and there are like 13 segments on that
Yeah.
show or something. Like there's so many. Anyways, the next match is awesome. It's Jay Lethal versus John Moxley, and I was looking forward to this because of Lethal, but I actually ended up liking both of them here. Uh, there's a at the beginning, Lethal tries to shake hands, and Moxley just slaps it away. Starts off in Mox's favor. They trade heavy forearms, which is like, the big wrestling thing, of course. They trade heavy forearms, but Mox is still on top. Eventually, Lethal pushes Mox into or off the turnbuckle when he's on the top, and things pretty much change from there. Uh, dude, Mox's forearms and clotheslines are fucking lethal. No pun intended. But
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
The first
Mox
one he
puts
hit Jay
Lethal,
Lethal with, it just like he would flip. I mean,
just
obviously he
flipped
got
him.
help and obvious from it, obviously, but
But
man,
dude,
it looks so
you heard
brutal.
it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, as JR pointed out, that's what flesh on flesh sounds like. And anyways, Mox puts Lethal in a rear naked choke, falls back, but Lethal rolls through um, and basically pins him. So he like rolls back with him whenever they fall back, and he kind of pins Mox's shoulders down. Awesome near fall. I actually thought he was going to win that one.
Yeah.
And then the second near fall after Lethal drops the elbow on Mox was fucking awesome. Like they just got really good near falls at the end, which is really, really great, especially for a match that wasn't that long. But ultimately, Mox, drops Lethal with the paradigm shift, gets the win. Mox was selling his knee so well, I was wondering if he actually got hurt, and I
And
don't think he did,
he
but
did.
fuck, he
He is
did?
hurt. He is hurt. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He is currently hurt.
Yeah, that sucks because I was about to say that's the best selling I've ever seen him
Yeah,
do.
it wasn't. But yeah,
Because
that
I
that
was like
but
I was just gonna say I was buying it, and then I was gonna say a lot of knee injuries this weekend, but we'll get there.
yeah, it was a good match though overall. And what I think last week I said that Jay Lethal was low affect, and I still think he is. However, after the match, a little bit of storytelling from him at the end there. He's clearly distraught. He's clearly not sure. Like I think even Mal's like, "What am I doing wrong?" or something like that.
Yeah,
And it just really like it was like maybe 10 seconds of him like when he was walking off, but really great, after the match kind of storytelling, character development type deal, which I
yeah,
appreciated. I appreciated them or him anyway taking that
yeah.
opportunity to show
This
that
is
he's
what I
still
love
torn.
about Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and this gets played into on the ROH pay-per-view, which I'll get to, but
Oh, really?
yeah, it's per what I love about Lethal in this situation, AEW does this with a lot of people, is they'll perpetuate these stories, and they'll just be these things they're not focusing on, but they'll constantly be feeding the monster, right?
Yeah.
So that whenever it finally comes up as the storyline they're pushing, you have all of this fucking history, and in many cases, you didn't even know because they weren't putting a big focus on it. You didn't even know it was that big a history. Of course, Hangman Adam Page's story being the biggest of them all, probably when he finally gets that title shot, and you're like, "Oh fuck, he's been trying to get this for like 3 years," or you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean? So, uh, yeah, dude, Lethal, I'm fucking like in now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
that
last week we were talking about that weird promo,
yeah,
but now
just
it's like, fuck, I'm in.
after that match and like that little again 10-15 seconds at the end there as they're walking off, I'm like, all right, now I see this is going somewhere, not just weird one-off promos.
Absolutely. The next thing we see is a vignette for Marina Shafir. I have never seen her. I haven't watched, dude. I haven't watched Dark since we did this. All right, so and it's been a little while since I've actually watched it regularly. I used to, but man, I think with this vignette, whether she's good or not, she looked fucking awesome. Like, I actually thought she looked really cool, and I've never seen her, but it makes me want to go watch her dark matches because I'm like, she looks like she lays it in. She looks like she's gonna go out there, not hurt people, but just like sell, right? Both
Mhm.
offense and defense. Um, that's all it was to showcase Marina Shafir, and that's gonna come back to play here soon.
She debuts on
Then,
Wednesday.
yep. And it's for the Owen Hart thing, right? No, 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 no. It's the Jade.
Oh,
We'll get
right.
there.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
there yet.
yeah.
So FTR versus the Gun Club. These fucking geeks, I swear to God.
Yep.
So FTR wear this like NWO kind of themed
Yeah, it was interesting.
FTR.
It was
Yeah,
interesting.
it was weird, and I know that I'm assuming it was a Scott Hall like in
Mm.
memory of Scott Hall thing, even though he didn't really wear like NWO stuff that I remember. He always had the thing that like Britt Baker did, like the dripping look of his tights. I don't remember him. He might have, but I
I
just don't
mean,
remember
with
him wearing
t-shirts
like
and shit, but not like you're like
sure.
that though. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But dude, I fucking love FTR in black. Just wear fucking just black trunks. God, they looks like cool as shit. So does and Dax and his mustache.
Yeah, they're just a cool
Dang.
looking team. In general, they're just cool. I mean,
The
they're a great
fucking
tag
in
team. They look cool.
absolutely. My fucking they might be my MVPs of this whole fucking show right here. So anyway, or like our show, not
Yeah, no.
Dynamite. I'm talking like like but anyways, so MJF comes out before the match and dude, the boo he receives is so awesome.
It
And
was.
MJF goes to commentary and he's just so obnoxious in the best way.
The best part was as soon as he's walking over and he comes out, JR's response is, "Let's see where this journey takes us."
That's why he's the greatest.
Yeah.
Everyone fucking hates him, and I just love that, like, in WWE, especially in the Attitude Era, they usually I mean, like, Jerry the King Lawler would bury people, but it's because he
Yeah.
was, like, the funny guy or whatever. But usually, they wouldn't bury even the heels. They would
Yeah.
always, like, lift up the
Yep.
talent, and what
Impartial.
part yeah. And what I love about AEW is they'll just fucking bury people,
Yeah, it's
and it's
amazing.
so funny. But anyways, yeah, FTR looks so great as a babyface team because they're really playing that babyface team this match. MJ and I never thought in a million years FTR would be an awesome babyface. I'm like, they are the classic heels,
Yeah.
and holy shit, was I on their bus, man. And Dax looks like $1,000,000. We'll get there. So, anyways, MJF is just talking so much shit, and there's a point where Aubrey, he's talking about her not doing her job, and he calls her the human foot. That human foot, Aubrey.
Yeah, he directly said the Aubrey might be the worst ref in professional wrestling, is
Yeah,
what he said. And
and go ahead.
I want to talk about that, but we'll get there.
Oh,
Yeah.
but Shivani's like, "Did you just call her the human foot?" He's like, "Yeah, I did. She's the human foot, like, or whatever." It's like so funny. But FTR, dude, they gave the Ass Boys a lot. And man, they just let the Gun Boys like beat up Cash. I've called them the wrong name every time. The Gun Club beat
Billy
up
Gunn's
Cash.
kids.
Yeah, and just beat the fuck out of Cash
Yep.
for forever to get that awesome hot tag for Dax.
Yep.
And then Dax just runs wild and beats the fuck out of everyone. This was awesome. But halfway through the match, and this is what I want to talk about too. I don't know if this is what you were going to, but Wardlow straight up just interrupts mid-match. And this is like really tough to pull off, and I actually think they pull it off really well, and I'll tell you why. But it's really hard because as soon as you do something like this, you're immediately taking the attention off the people in the ring.
Yep.
So there has to be a reason for them not to wrestle, or they're wrestling for no one, right? So Wardlow interrupts the match. He's in the back. He finally comes in. He's beating the fuck out of all of these security goons, which are clearly just like local wrestlers. Like
Yeah.
none of these guys are real security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
So,
one guy had like
anyways,
a mohawk and like these all crazy like
yeah,
huge
power
earplugs and
bombs the
shit.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bombs the guy through a table, but he doesn't actually go through it, which had to hurt so bad.
Yeah.
So he gets halfway down the stairs. Dax is in the ring. They're not wrestling, so you know they haven't been. And one of the Gun Club dudes, I think it was Austin, if I'm not mistaken, Austin Gunn, he's on the ground, and Dax is just like pissed. He has his arms up, and he's trying to figure out why his match is being, messed with and everything. But he's like not mad at Wardlow. He's like looking back at MJF too, because he's like, "The fuck are you doing?" And Wardlow gets finally stopped by like 15 security guys, right?
Yep.
He gets escorted out. Eventually, FTR hits the big rig and win. And MJF comes to the ring, and FTR are pissed at him. And finally, he calms them down enough to raise their hands, and they're content. But yeah, I'm feeling like a blatant babyface turn is coming soon. I mean, they basically already are, but I mean, I think a very blatant turn is coming up here real soon. And probably the end of the Pinnacle, possibly, unless he replaces him.
Yeah, I mean, there is without question that is occurring. I think it's written on the walls in a lot of ways. And what's interesting about it is I'm curious what happens with MJF, right? The character obviously is so arrogant and so full of himself that he'll probably, in my mind, that he'll probably just be like, fuck y'all. I don't need any of you to do this kind of thing and go that route. But at the same time, it might be interesting to see him in the vulnerable position as well. He's alone. Everybody fucking hates him. He doesn't have backup anymore. He doesn't have FTR. He doesn't have Wardlow. Like, he could become a quick target or just a high profile target for somebody trying to make it. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I also think he could like recruit someone like the Gun Club. Not that we want to see that,
No, we
but
don't.
some kind of like mid-card tag team that will just obey him.
Yeah. I mean,
Just for protection, but also to be more obnoxious
yeah.
because he has them.
Yep. I mean, that
You know
would
what I mean?
that could be fucking hysterical. There's a
Yeah.
lot of ways they can go for it with it, and I'm excited because I think MJF is a good wrestler. He can pull it off, and he's great narratively and on the mic. So no matter what they do, it's gonna be fucking good just because it's MJF.
Just because it's MJF. Dude,
But
yeah. I mean, and plus MJF is so fucking smooth, and I gotta tell you, make sure that you make sure you buy it now. Conquer blend or any blend you want. They have so many. This is the only picture I have ready. And if you go to kingscoastcoffee.com/LWIW pod, you can help us out too. Make sure you get some coffee. It'll do you good. Anyways, just working on getting started early, embarrassing Charlie. So we're fine. So there's a video segment next. It's to set up the Powerhouse Hobbs Keith Lee match on Rampage. It's going to be the main event. Should be great. I put in my notes. We'll see how it went. And then you have the JAS, Jericho Appreciation Society backstage. Same setup where you have the curtains on each side, and they're just talking shit about Santana and Ortiz and how they put them out and Eddie Kingston and stuff. And last week, if you guys will remember, Jake Hager pulled or Matt Lee, I'm sorry, fucking Matt, what's his name? I don't even remember it now, but God damn it. Anyways, Matt Lee, it's just what I'm going to call him. His name's like Magic Matt Lee or whatever. You know the stupid
I
names for the 2.0
yeah, yeah,
guys?
yeah. I know you don't. I don't know
Um,
his name, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah, fuck. I wish I hate that I don't like have that right now. But anyways, but they were like pulling back the curtains and no one's there. Well, this week they do the same thing, but instead, of course, they're there. I thought they'd play this off for a few more weeks, to be honest, but they didn't. It was just like once they're not there and once they are. And holy shit, they start beating the fuck out of the Jericho Appreciation Group. Yeah, it's pretty good. Is a big brawl to the ring. So they go from the backstage to the ring. Eddie backfits Jericho at one point, which was great. And he kind of puts Jericho down for a minute, but then Hager, turns the tide. He looks fucking ripped, even though he sucks.
He
You know
does.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he actually was able to
He
pick
looks
up
like a
Eddie
monster.
this week too, which was
Barely.
nice. Yeah, well, Eddie had to like jump on him.
Yeah, it's really funny. The Jericho Appreciation Society starts kicking ass though. And eventually, Garcia puts Kingston in a sharpshooter, and Jericho just starts beating Eddie with the bat, Floyd the Bat, at the same time while he's in the sharpshooter. And then Jericho starts like whipping Kingston with a belt. I mean, this turns into like a complete over the top beatdown. They're really trying to get heat for this. Jericho hits Eddie with the Judas effect, and then they all pose over the carnage, and that is the end of that segment.
What
Then,
one of the coolest parts about that segment, and it was again just this really brief moment when Eddie was dragging Jericho to the ring. Eddie, in the middle of beating the shit out of Jericho, took 2 seconds to high five a little kid. It really shows the
yeah,
character of that guy. What a dude. Like you hear
yeah.
the kid on like picked up through the cameras. He just yells Eddie, and Eddie like stops and cracks him the high five. I was like, hey, man, that's a professional wrestler if I've ever seen one.
I
What a
know,
dude.
dude.
What a dude.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you love a wrestler, so you just want to see him do that shit, and he's a baby face. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yep.
So the next segment is Jade Cargill backstage, and Jade is there with, of course, Smart Mark Sterling, and they're talking about who Jade is going to wrestle for her 30th win, so she can have this party. And I forget her name, but the librarian is her gimmick on Dark, and she comes out, and Jade's like, "I'm not fucking fighting her. I'll kill her. Like, give me somebody better." And Mark Sterling's like, "We only have two options. I don't know about the other one." And Jade's just like, "Tell me, motherfucker." And so he basically says, "All right, you're taking on Marina Shafir, who we just saw a video package of and who looked fucking awesome. And I think this match could be fun." Because Jade, of course, is just like, "All right, cool, I'll kill her." But I think it's going to be a competitive match. And I hope Marina Shafir actually looks as good as she did in that video package, because she could be one of my next favorites. She was tough. So then we get to Daniel Bryan, who comes out with Regal, and of course Regal goes to commentary and calls Excalibur Man in the Mask the whole night, which is great. And Daniel Bryan, oh my God, I wrote down Daniel Bryan. I'm so embarrassed. Bryan Danielson. I am so sorry. In the notes, it's Danielson everywhere else, but I put Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson versus Wheeler Yuta. And Regal goes to commentary, as I said. I've always thought Yuta was cool, but I like him as a singles guy with a fucking attitude.
Yeah. It
He's
was
so much better.
the vibe was really good in that match.
Man, he's cool now. I cannot wait for him to join this stupid name club that they're in. Damn, it's going to be awesome. So Danielson starts just beating the fuck out of Yuta, and Yuta just takes it the whole time. I mean, like, he's getting hurt, but I'm just saying, like, he keeps getting up, he keeps taking, he's really showing how tough he is. Of course, meanwhile, Regal's just putting him over like crazy. And Yuta bucks up a few times though. He hops up and just gets right in Danielson's face, which I thought was great. And Yuta's chest starts to look like ground beef by the end of the match because he's just getting chopped so hard and
Yeah.
kicked. And Yuta starts getting a comeback though, but Danielson hits him with the psycho knee and just puts him down. And what I love is it just keep like the whole story of the match is Danielson never gives him that much. Like he is always beating him. The story is Yuta keeps getting up. That's the whole thing, right? Like he doesn't give up ever. He keeps fighting, and when he does fight, he's violent. But Danielson has like no expression. He's just a cold, sadistic bastard. Like that's just like this whole thing, and it's like no expression. I would say in a good way, not like a he's lazy at performing. I mean, like it's very intentional. Like he's just a cold, sadistic bastard, and I love him so much, and I want to be his best friend. So he grabs Yuta's arms and starts to stomp, like the stomp your head in thing. And Yuta fucking spits in his face,
Man, that was
dude.
so gross. It was
Did
like
you
in his
gag?
beard. I mean,
Because
it
but it
was
like
like
dripped off too.
I know it was
I bet
so
it got in his mouth
disgusting.
just a little bit.
I know.
Anyways.
Ooh, I hate it. Hate it.
Yeah, it was gross. It grossed me out too, but it was a lot of spit, dude.
I mean,
I
it looked
mean,
like he hawked
I'm
up a
not even
loogie.
trying to yeah,
Like
I'm
it
not even
was,
trying to gross you out. I'm like it's just it was enough for me to make the note. It was a lot of spit exclamation point. But then Yuta gets fucking killed.
oh yeah,
And Danielson gets
destroyed.
Yuta in the yes lock or the label lock, however you want to put it. And until Yuta passes out. So again, he never gives up. He's being violent, he's being tough, he's taking it. And dude, Yuta went the distance. Danielson took the win, but Yuta looked fucking great here, man.
He did, and I'm
Um,
excited to see what they do with it, man. He's fun to watch in the ring. He's from my hometown. Love that dude. And if if I remember correctly, for the first while I was watching, he was like this kind of like goofy, like fun dude, really upbeat and positive. If I remember,
but he was
maybe,
with fucking best friends. That's why, because he was a
yeah,
part of Chaos in New Japan.
that's right. And now, like this attitude turn, man, I fucking like it. It's just like I
It's
want to be the
great.
best I can be, and these are the people that are going to get me there, and these are who I want to be with, and he's working towards it. And I'm curious to see where it goes. They got to let him in eventually, right? How many times is he going to get his ass beat?
I honestly think I wish he would just fight them back and forth every week until he gets in. I'll watch Danielson Yuta 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's just good the
Imagine
whole
if Regal
time.
gets in the ring. He has to beat Regal to get in.
All Regal has to do is smack that motherfucker and he's going to be dead.
It's true. It's true. The man
God,
is a legend.
he's so good. Anyways, the next segment is Darby Allin and Andrade El Idolo. It's a video segment that's setting up the main event for this show. We'll get there in a moment. And then Adam Cole and Red Dragon have a championship celebration because they stole the championships.
I love
And
this. This was
God, they're
hilarious.
putting themselves over so hard. They walk out to the ring. They're so proud. They're posing with all the titles. They didn't steal the titles, Adam Cole says, because you can't steal something that belongs to you. And, I'm kind of going back on Kyle O'Reilly here in terms of, remember when I ranked them for our social media?
Yep.
Fuck, man. His promo was kind of awful, but Bobby Fish was awesome. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
Kyle
man,
O'Reilly was a
maybe
little
I
rough.
would. Yeah, it was a little cringy. I like Kyle O'Reilly though. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying like when you're talking about on the mic, all three of those dudes, he was definitely the weak link there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyways, the three of them talk shit, so much shit about Hangman's about Hangman and Jurassic Express, and then Hangman's theme hits, and the place pops so big, a huge pop, and Hangman comes out in a fucking tricked out cowboy Tesla. And it's
Yeah.
basically just a Tesla with like big cowboy horns.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, this wasn't that cool.
No. I mean, it wasn't cool at all.
No, it wasn't at all. I was trying to be diplomatic, but there's no reason to. It was really lame.
Yeah.
Every time they use cars, I think it's lame. They did
Yeah.
it with John Moxley one time. They do it with all kinds of people. I just think it's like really lame. But anyways, I'm not a car guy, so maybe that's part of it.
Could be.
Jurassic Express comes out. as Cole Fish and O'Reilly are retreating. So they like leave the ring and they're walking up the ramp backwards. And of course, Jurassic Express is there to kick their ass. But I'll tell you what I hate, Charlie. This is one thing because I had a great time watching it. I hate that they got their titles back on this show.
It
I
was
wish
quick.
it was 1 week.
It was quick. It should have been played out. I mean, we just talked about how great the belt stealing thing gimmick storyline is, and this one ended so abruptly. But who knows? Maybe they'll steal him back next week, and maybe that'll be the ongoing fucking thing, which is not nearly as cool. It's a weird
No.
back and forth. Just let them keep it and fucking flaunt them around every so often.
Let them keep it until you beat them and retain.
Yeah.
And then the fucking ref will give you your belt. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's Audrey.
I mean,
because she's the worst
listen.
ref in professional wrestling.
Fucking human foot. So
No, I
the
love
thing
Aubrey.
is, though,
Aubrey is the
yeah,
best.
me too.
But I mean, every one of her match has no rules. So
Yeah. Well, every ref in fucking AEW has no
I think
rules, but
hers
it's
is
fine.
probably the most egregious, though. Literally, Billy Gunn interfered in something that would have been DQable
Yeah.
by any other standard.
Yeah, I think it's Rick Knox who I'm thinking of, who's like definitely he does a lot of tag matches. He's the bald, like older guy.
Yeah.
And he fucking lets everything go. But yes, the point is it's a problem in AEW, I would say. But dude, they should let him keep it. Now it's important that Hangman and Jurassic Express try to get them back. I think that is the propelling of the storyline. But it's the fact that like the heels just keep getting one over on them until you watch them get their asses kicked, right?
Yeah.
Or not, or they win it legit. You know, I mean, like either way, you could sell it really well. I wasn't a fan of that part. The segment was great, just that end, I wasn't a fan. Next thing we see is Thunder Rosa live. She just comes out on the stage. She's talking to Shivani. Last week she was interrupted by Nyla Rose. This week she actually gets to talk a bit, and Thunder Rosa talks about how she's not just a pillar, Charlie. She's not just a pillar. She's the fucking foundation of women's wrestling. And it sounds really cocky when I say it, but she actually sold it real well, like the way she said it. Made a lot of sense. It didn't sound as arrogant as it sounds. She was like making a really solid point. And then she calls out Nyla Rose and basically says, "I'm not afraid of you, bitch." She didn't say that, but it's like basically that, right?
I think she
And she's just
did,
like,
actually. Didn't she call her a bitch at the end?
oh, maybe. I don't, dude, that was a long time ago in terms of the amount of hours I've been
No
watching
shit.
wrestling. So, but anyways, the point is, she called out Nyla Rose and got her chance to, talk for a second, which was nice. I'm not used to that. They usually get interrupted like instantly.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
I think it's the
FTR
first
is-
time I've heard Thunder Rosa cut a promo as well, actually, and it was different. It was good. Don't get me wrong, a little rough in some parts, but I enjoyed it. Like you said, overall, the foundation thing, what was the line? Like pillars can fall, but foundations never. Or some. I mean, she was more elegant than I was, but that was the idea of it, and it was good. It was a good promo.
Yeah, she's feisty.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I like about her promos is she's really feisty. I mean, again, she's no like Kingston or MJF, or for that matter, she's not even a Britt Baker on the mic yet. But she's like solid and feisty, and she's very much a character, and I'm into it.
Yep.
But then we have an FTR backstage segment. FTR calls out the Young Bucks. Holy shit! I was so excited. And then I found out it was going to be a TV match. Woo! I'm going to save that. I'll talk about that later. Because there's something with the Ring of Honor thing. We'll talk about that. So then the next match is the Bunny versus a mystery contestant.
Mystery porn star.
And let me let me tell you this. Toni Storm, who was in she was fucking everywhere, but she was in like WWE and NXT and stuff. Toni Storm was the big secret. Huge pop when she comes out. Toni Storm hits fucking hard, dude. There's a point where Bunny is like in the fucking up in the turnbuckle, like sitting down, and she just walks, like runs and just like kills her.
Yeah. I've
Holy shit.
read in places that Toni Storm actually is pretty stiff in general.
Fucking finally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want people to get hurt. Please understand, don't misunderstand, but it's like in AEW, they hit like feathers, I feel like half the time, dude. And it's like,
Mostly
just lay it in
open
a
hand
little
slaps.
more.
Yep.
Yeah, like just kind of get somewhere in between. We need more of that shit because I even feel like some people that I know hit hard, like Ruby Soho, for example, it feels like she pulls sometimes now, and it's
Mhm.
like, come on,
Yep.
hit like a fucking motherfucker like you used to. So, anyways, I love Tony Storm right now. I think she's fucking awesome.
Yes.
I had never ever seen her in WWE, so I don't know anything about it. It's my first introduction to Tony Storm,
Yeah.
but I'm a big fan.
She's
Uh,
cool. She definitely has an attitude about her, which I enjoy, and kind of her whole vibe is good. Um, and she's been around the world, right? And I think she
yeah,
is a quality uh, uh, women's wrestler that can really help elevate the women's division there in a lot of ways.
yeah.
Assuming she is okay, right? She had a really weird interview a couple days ago. She's clearly drunk off of her ass, and it's not looking good from a PR perspective. And hopefully, from a
Yeah.
mental health perspective, she's okay too, and just had a little bit too much fun after debuting in AEW.
Yeah, that might be. We'll talk more about problematic things like that here shortly. I hope that's not the case because I really liked watching her. And there
Yeah,
was a point, just to throw back to last week's episode, where Bunny, like, she just like fucking clotheslined her or something, tried to pin her, and then Tony Storm kicks out. It was more than that, but she kicks out, and then Bunny does like the shock face.
yeah, the
Remember
shock
whenever I
face.
talked
Yep.
about that shit? You didn't
Yeah,
fucking earn it, Bunny. You didn't fucking earn it. Anyways,
fucking
eventually
shock
Tony Storm
face.
drops her finish. I think it's called Storm 1. I believe it's like a snap pile driver, which looks super dangerous. Holy shit.
She didn't
Like,
do the
I thought
layback
she was.
thing. She didn't do the layback thing like they do with the pile drivers now. So
Yep,
the
yep,
head pops out. She just came
yep.
fucking straight down.
It looks like a snap pile driver. I've never seen that. That looks intense. But she got the pin. Tony Storm wins. Excited to see her uh, go up the ranks. Hopefully, I want to see her. If this other Marina, what the fuck's her name, Marina Sharif or whatever, if she's as good as she looks, I can't. I want them two to fight. I'm
Yeah.
into it.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Nyla Rose is with Vicky Guerrero. Guerrero. I don't know how to say it. I'm stupid. Backstage. This is a
Yeah. Don't do
backstage
that.
segment with Tony Schiavone. Nyla Rose is fucking pissed, y'all. She says a bunch of shit. And then, most notably, she says, I'll be a genie. Abracadabra, bitch.
Yeah, that's where the bitch was. It was so corny.
Listen, I I still don't know why she said it. Like, I watched it like twice, and I'm like, I don't know why you're talking about this. But, dude, Nyla Rose is better than this. I don't know why she's writing this terrible shit or who's writing it for her. It's bad.
It's really, really hokey. I do not like it at all.
I hate him. So Darby Allin is going up against Andrade El Idolo, and he has Sting with him. Of course, El Idolo has Jose, as always. And Darby comes out to the ring with a skateboard. He rides down the ramp, and then once he gets like at the bottom of the ramp, he stops before he gets to the ring and turns back for a second because Sting goes to the back. Andrade does this fucking tornado flip thing over the ropes to the outside and clobbers Darby, and immediately he's on top. And the match hasn't even started yet, and Andrade is like killing Darby. And Andrade is, dude, he's fucking playing the big man here, and he is bigger, but he's playing the big man.
They said he
Darby is
packed
just
on like 20 pounds or something like that for this.
a
Or in the
lot.
past like couple weeks, he's fucking huge right now,
He's
comparatively.
huge, but especially comparatively is what I was about to say. Yeah, and Darby's just getting fucking squashed,
Yeah.
and the match doesn't start for like a long time. Um, And then, Darby starts a slap battle at one point, and he starts getting a little leverage, but Andrade, just proves to be too much and fucks up Darby again. And then Jose, Butcher, and the Blade come out at one point, not at the same time, but eventually they all end up at ringside. Sting comes down, he starts beating up Jose. And then, I almost said Boris. Butcher and the Blade start beating up Sting. And then Andrade, he won the fucking match fair and square in the middle of the fucking ring.
I was
I thought
shocked.
me too. I thought for sure there'd be interference
Yeah.
because they're all down there.
Oh yeah.
And instead, it just ended up being a reason for them to be on TV, I guess, fighting outside the ring. Because Andrade just fucking won.
He straight up beat Darby Allin.
And I gotta say this,
Could
man,
not believe it.
Andrade had some legendary matches in WWE, but they were few and far between. Okay. So like a lot of his matches in WWE and NXT were not great, but whenever he'd hit a pay-per-view, for example, they just let loose and he looked like he had a fucking phenomenal match with Johnny Gargano. You should go watch that if you haven't seen it. It's so good. And but then I watched him in other matches, like just TV and stuff like that, and it's just not great. It's just lackluster. Man, they're finally giving Andrade like screen time and free, just like go do your thing. He looks fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was a really good match, and it's a stark difference from when he first came in. Right? I remember we had a conversation before we were doing this. It was like, when are they going to fucking use this guy? And now they are, and holy shit, that dude can work. Like,
He's great. And he
yeah,
wrestled we talked about it because he wrestled Pac
yeah,
and
that's
those
right.
2 matches, whatever it is, fucking awesome.
Yeah,
And it's
yep.
like, dude, give this guy some work. Don't make him a clown. So post match, real quick, there's a beatdown on Darby and Sting. Private Party run out to beat down Darby and Sting too. The Hardys run out, of course, to help. Jeff Hardy fucking kills Mark Quinn with the Swanton bomb. Dude, Matt Hardy's got to be careful, or Jeff Hardy's got to be careful, dude. He's just underestimating these Swantons, and his entire body weight is smashing these people.
Yeah, he landed. It wasn't even close. He like butt bombed the dude, and his
Dude,
head almost bounced off the turnbuckle. It's like, bro, what are you doing? You've been doing this for
dude.
25 years. You're better than this.
Well, he usually does it with just the front half of his body, and the rest of his body hits the mat, and you aren't killing the guy.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
to be knocking the wind out of these fucking guys, dude, because he's murdering them with
It's a
all his weight.
215-pound dude just landing on you, like with everything. That's gotta suck.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
it totally sucks for sure. Um, but then that leads us into Rampage on Friday night, April 1st, 2022. And dude, we fucking start off with the Young Bucks versus Top Flight. Now, was this your first proper Top Flight match? Like, or did they
no,
act
no, no, no.
okay. They had
Uh,
one before, right?
right. Uh, uh, Darius got injured very early in me starting to watch AEW. So I've seen them maybe once, I think.
Really? Interesting. I thought it was before you got there, but that's fine. I believe you.
Or I mean,
Um,
it might have been when I was catching up on it too, but I have seen them
oh,
previously. Because remember, I watched like everything leading up to Double or Nothing.
oh, that's
Uh,
right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Top Flight were good and dark. And the only time they didn't look better is because they were wrestling people that were not even close to as good as them. And so like the other people would like kind of butcher their moves sometimes. Dude, they're fucking awesome, these guys.
I will say that Darius Martin feels underwhelming compared to Dante. I think. Um,
I think, but don't you think part of that's the build that we've had? Like we've
Hundred
seen what he
percent,
can
hundred
do.
percent. I'm not saying that he's not a good wrestler. Just
Yeah.
in the ring, he doesn't have the gravitas, I guess, that
Yeah.
Dante does. But Dante's been around since he's been out,
Yeah.
and he's kind of had more of the spots. Darius in that match, and you'll talk about it in a second, but it felt like he was just kind of the supporting role in a big way, and Dante was 100% the main character.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Young Bucks. I'll use them as an example.
Middle aged bucks.
Everyone always talks, yeah. Everyone always talks about Nick Jackson, right? And because he's incredible,
Yeah,
he is the big showboat, right? And then Matt Jackson is just a fucking great worker, right? And I feel like that way about Top Flight, kind of, where it's like Darius is still a great worker. It's just Dante does superhuman shit, and I don't understand. It's like watching like Rey Mysterio and then watching someone like Psychosis. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
It's like Psychosis is awesome.
Mm,
But when you put him up with like Rey Mysterio's doing this like super innovative shit. How can you even keep up with this guy?
yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yep. It's.
And
I
and
mean,
that's how I feel. It's like Darius is awesome, but man, your brother is like just like something
yeah,
else.
it's a
You know what I'm
different
saying?
level. Is it's one of the one of one. I guess is the hot thing to say right now. And Dante Martin, in terms of the things he does, and same thing with the Young Bucks. Like, there's certain guys that are just one of one that you put them next to anybody else, that other person may be amazing, but when you're next to the guy who is generational, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, good luck.
It's no joke, man.
Yep.
And honestly, in my notes, I literally just wrote, I don't even know what to say. There isn't one move more notable than another. Just an awesome high spot match.
Yeah. And
Like
everything felt
you
like
have,
that purpose too. It was good.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt like the Bucks were telling a story and Top Flight was doing their spots, and it just translated into just like an awesome, fun match. Both teams are so fucking good. But there's a lot happening at the end, and not in a bad way. I mean, it gets like it's building, and they finally get there's reversals, all kinds of shit, just real quick, boom, 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 and then one reversal ends up with each of the Young Bucks on either side of Darius Martin. They get the big BTE trigger. 1, 2, 3, Bucks win, just as it should be. But Top Flight looked fucking great.
It did.
And then it cuts to the shortest fucking Chris Statlander vignette ever. And it basically is just showing her being like the new Chris Statlander.
Other
Nothing
side.
notable. Yeah. Nothing super notable, just the other side of Chris, right?
I love it.
And that's what we
I'm
get.
such a Chris Statlander mark. It's ridiculous. I think she's awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, I feel like you've probably, and I agree with you, but I'm just saying it's funny because you've probably only seen what a handful of matches of hers because she hasn't wrestled that much.
It's yeah,
She's
a
just pretty
handful for
decent.
sure. The thing
Yeah,
is, the matches are good, and she's really involved in social media, so I see her constantly, and I see that stuff on social media all the time, and that it has an effect. Doing that shit
yeah,
matters, right?
yeah,
And this is a really good example of it. I haven't seen her wrestle a lot, but I'm constantly exposed. I see her backstage stuff. I see like the her behind the scenes stuff and all
yeah,
the shit she does. It's like, yep, this person is awesome. And my
absolutely.
light is killing me here, and I hate it.
Guess what,
I
guys? He has blackout curtains, and he's too fucking lazy to put them up.
They're literally like I could almost reach them. They're like right there. And
Ah,
this is annoying me so much because I can see it on this fucking thing.
yeah,
I'm
you
go
look really annoying.
as soon as this is over, I'm putting them up because this is absurd. And I'm literally blind. I'm literally blind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned how social media is so important, which it is, and anybody who says otherwise is stupid. And that's why you should really go to lastweekinwrestling.com and please subscribe to our YouTube because it's important, guys. It's really important. Lastweekinwrestling.com. Anyways, so then we have House of Black versus Dark Order and Fuego del Sol, which is such a weird pairing, but it was actually really fun. Um, I love that they do the combined weight thing. Don't you think that's funny? Like that was such a McMahon thing to do in the early 90s when everyone was like 280 pounds
Yeah.
of
From a
muscle.
combined weight of
Yeah.
500, or you had like
Yeah.
the natural
Or you had Doug,
disasters, it was like
yeah,
900 pounds.
that's
It's
what I'm
like
saying.
that's
That's
fucking wild.
exactly.
It's like, holy shit, these guys are 900 pounds.
They're a
Like,
half ton almost. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's fucking crazy.
And it's like, and then they have House of Black, and it's like combined weight of 745 pounds. And I just start laughing
Yeah.
because I'm like, why does that matter? You know what I mean? Like who cares how much they all weigh together? It's like such a weird game. But dude, Stu Grayson's fucking awesome. I gotta put this guy over real quick. I mean, he's always been awesome. He and Uno are like, I think, really underrated. I don't think they need to be in like the title picture. I just think they're really great mid card guys that can put over top guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even beat them sometimes. But I just mean like I don't see them as top tag team material. But and I don't want to call them enhancement talent. I think they're more than that. It's just they're just that good middle
Which
that
is
we
important.
need.
You
And
need those
yeah,
guys. And um I think Evil Uno and his whole gimmick is a little goofy and stuff. Or at least it used to be a lot goofier when he did the video game thing, a little bit more hardcore. But for what he is now, I think they are, exactly like you're saying, wonderful mid card talent that can put on a fun match, be that palate cleanser, whatever it may be. Um, be good, right? And it's fun and get hype because they're over. Um, and I think that's right where they belong, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
I have to admit though, I think I've seen you a picture of this because I don't think you were watching at this time. Way, way early. I do kind of miss, and I got a lot of shit for this when I posted it, so I'm waiting to get more shit. You can post this as a social media thing. I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing: the Dark Order, when they used to come out, Evil Uno would go into the middle of the ring. Stu Grayson would call all these gimps, and all these Dark Order gimps would run in the ring. And they'd form a throne, a human throne, and Uno would sit down on it. And I thought, fuck, this is cheesy, but I love this.
I mean, he is
I
just the
don't want them to do
cheeseball
that
wrestler.
anymore. Yeah, I don't want them to do that anymore. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I fucking miss the throne. That's all I'm saying. Because everything about them at that time was lame until the Now they're cool.
Did he
But
ever do the like pause thing in AEW? Because I remember that from the Indies. Like he used to have video game controller on his tights, and if somebody bumped the controller or whatever, it would be like they paused the game, and he would not sell, he would not do anything until they hit the thing again. It was ridiculous, but it was like his gimmick, is a video
that's
game
very
character.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
because he
video of
pretty
it on
much
YouTube. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. It's
I have to,
fucking
yeah, 'cause I
hilarious.
haven't. He basically took over the AEW games thing, so he does all of their games content
Yeah,
these
that
days with
just
Adam
debuted
Cole.
on Friday
Yeah. So,
or
anyways,
Saturday.
Stu Grayson's fucking awesome, and he and Buddy Matthews start. They're beating the shit out of each other. They both look great. Fuego gets mutilated at one point. From the fucking moment he gets in, excuse me, dude, fucking Fuego's killed. He gets in, people are hot over it, and then boom, dead. And then there's a point where Evil Uno and Grayson run wild and kick everyone's ass. And Uno throws Malachi onto Grayson's shoulders. Okay, so he pops up Malachi onto Stu Grayson's shoulders and like an electric chair style thing. And then Grayson tosses him back to Uno for a sit down power bomb.
It's cool.
What a fucking great spot.
It was really
Holy
cool.
shit. Malachi had no idea what the fuck was happening. I mean, I bet that was a planned spot, but the way he was selling it was
Yeah.
like he was just like baffled this is happening to him. Grayson tries to hold off Brody King while Uno tries to stick a pin. And dude, Brody throws Grayson across the ring and stops the pin. Like stops the count. Throws like, and when I say throws, I don't mean he picks him up and throws him. I mean Brody King's trying to get in the ring. Grayson's on the ground. They're both on the ground. Grayson is trying to hold him back, and he grabs him by the chest and just shoves him into the pin attempt.
Yeah.
Fucking great spot. I mean, this is a great match. I love this match. Fuego stands off with the 3 House of Black members as they kind of start to circle him. Grayson pulls Buddy Matthews out. Uno took out Brody, and it's Fuego, and he starts to take it to Malachi. And dude, he does this poison Rana, which looked like he fucking killed Malachi. I know I keep saying people look like they get killed. That's what this week was. Everyone is dead in wrestling. Because like
Literally
there's
in
so much
every
crazy
card,
shit.
in every card this fucking past week, everybody has died.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's slim pickings now. But anyways, this poison Rana was awesome. If you don't know what a poison Rana is, it's a hurricane Rana backwards.
Yeah,
So the
it's
guy just
sick.
like lands on his fucking head. It's awful, but it's awesome. You know.
It's awful in
Anyway,
a good way.
yeah. Fuego went for a springboard move, but Malachi caught him with a black mass, the big spinning heel kick that he does. 1, 2, 3. House of Black wins. What a fucking great springboard kick in the fucking face. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So good. And even though I knew the outcome, you and I have talked about, even if you know the end, that it's all about the journey. This fucking journey was awesome, dude. What'd you think?
I agree. Every spot that you just mentioned, I had in my notes. It was just like, oh shit. Particularly that power bomb from the electric
That was
chair,
awesome.
man. I marked out on it. I was like, holy shit. And
so
generally,
cool.
I think it really showed, especially for Brody or Matthews. It really showed the power, right? I mean, they're tossing around. I mean, these aren't little guys. I mean, Grayson's smaller, Fuego is small, Iwo Uno is a bigger dude, and these guys are just getting tossed the fuck around. It was a cool match to watch. Probably the best from AEW this past week, really.
It's fucking good. Especially, and it felt like it. The whole point of it is building up Fuego as the loser who is so over,
Yeah.
right? Because that's
Everybody
what he's
loves
been
him.
since he got there. Everyone loves him, and he's a loser. He's the underdog. That's the whole thing. And then the other part of it too is it's getting over because it's not really doing much for Dark Order. They're just there to help. But it's getting over House of Black as being monsters and giving them more wins so they can start like getting involved and being more badasses. It does everything it needs to do, but other than that, it's more of a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great. There are a lot of good palate cleansers. We'll get there when we get to WrestleMania.
Oh my god.
And then the Young Bucks have a backstage segment. They call out FTR and return the favor here. They list off all of these accomplishments, all of these titles that they've won, and then they admit that both teams have actually accomplished all these things, but the one thing FTR hasn't done is beat the Bucks. So next week on Dynamite, it goes down a TV match for the AAA tag team titles. We'll talk more about what's at stake here shortly because the stakes get higher. I'll let you all know that. But dude, with the Bucks, like, will they cheat to win and then play it out until a pay-per-view? It seems weird that such a huge match would be like legit just on TV. Uh, I mean,
Well,
they put on matches like this. They did Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. They've done like all of these special things. But I am like a little like this is their first match was a little underwhelming. One, it was during the pandemic with limited seats. And then I didn't think it was. I mean, it was a great match, of course, but it wasn't like that fucking great match, right? And I feel like this one could be. And if they put it on TV, more power to them. I'm happy. I mean, I just get to watch it for free, then that's cool. But my point is, I just imagine something going down that leads them to a pay per view or
I,
at least a special.
I feel like it would have to, right? I mean, it being for the AAA titles, I think is pretty interesting. I know AEW has a history of doing this sort of cross promotional thing, but it just seems odd, right? Because AAA is not really a thing in America. I mean, you can find it, I guess, but it's like a lucha libre promotion. So it's really interesting that that FTR is the champions they're down there, and that they are doing that cross promotion on TV against the Young Bucks. There's a lot of shit going on here. Like what like it's just like what the hell?
Well, AAA lets they have an agreement where AAA lets Tony use their talent and then they pass back and forth. They have an agreement, just like New Japan, just like all Impact for a while, all that stuff. So
The
like makes
question
sense.
is like, does
Go ahead.
FTR just retain because it's on a like from a storytelling perspective, and I guess business perspective, does AAA let the titles change hand on somebody else's show? Is that a
It has
thing?
before.
Has
Yeah.
it really?
Actually, FTR beat the Lucha Bros when I don't know if they've had them the whole time or if they've went back and forth because I don't follow AAA much. But yeah, they beat the Lucha Bros for those titles. And I don't think it was nice. I don't think it was I'm just because I want to talk about King's Coast Coffee. Make sure you go buy some LWIW pod at the end. There you go. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what to think of this match. Very excited. No matter what, I'm excited. Doesn't matter. I want it to be the program it deserves to be, and I want it to be that kind of long storytelling
Mhm.
between these two. Unlike the first time where FTR pretty much came in and literally just went for the Bucks. Like it was like at the time Bucks were baby faces, FTR were heels. They were going after him. They were trying to win Adam Page over, taking him away from the Elite because the Elite was a big thing at the time. And it was just like there wasn't that huge build. It was just a dream match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
But
think,
this is something different.
yeah, and it's I think it's going to be a great match just because of who's involved in it. But it is the mechanics and the logistics of like what is going to occur and what this turns out to is what I'm interested in because I want this to go on for a long time.
Yeah.
Will it though? I don't know. It's for the AAA titles, right? I mean, maybe that's just to give it some stake, right? It's just two tag teams otherwise, but you add the title thing into it, it adds a little bit of hype, etc.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, the
really
Bucks,
curious to see where it goes. I'm really curious.
yeah, the Bucks have been the AAA title or champs before, so
Mhm.
it wouldn't be that surprising, I guess. But anyways, next match, Jamie Hayter. I'll come back to the Bucks and FTR again. Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue. We
I
know
like
who the
Jimmy Hater
fuck's
a
gonna
lot
win
too.
this. Yeah, dude. When she first came in, I was like, "Fuck!" She lays it in too. And she takes bumps like crazy. Remember whenever she would take those bumps outside? It's like, why are you falling straight on your
Yeah,
back?
she's flat
You don't
backing
even have to
everything.
do that.
She still
Shit,
does, kind of.
scary. Anyways, but I'm like,
She's
there's
not
no
gonna be
way
able to walk in a year or
Sky
two.
Blue, no fucking chance. Sky Blue wins this match.
No,
But Jamie Hayter, I have felt like she hasn't looked great since then, but she looked awesome in this match.
it was good.
This was for the Owen Hart Cup qualifying match. Uh, of course, Tony Storm won the first one, which was for the Owen Hart Cup qualifier match. If I didn't say that, Jamie Hayter, of course, wins this one. Hayter puts Sky Blue, dude, in a high collar suplex into the corner. Holy fuck, this looks
She
so good.
whipped her into that corner, dude.
I'm gonna read every note verbatim. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm bracing myself.
Hater puts Sky Blue in a high collar suplex into the corner. Looks so good! Exclamation point. Next bullet. Hater's backbreaker looked so great. Hater's backdrop looked so great. Hater's brainbuster looked so great.
Yo, that
And then I
brainbuster was
put,
dirty.
yeah, and then I put, am I a fan of Jamie Hater? Like proper now? Like I put a question in there. Like, because I liked her when she first came in, then she kind of fell off for me as just like one of Brit's goons, and now she's like
On her
fucking
own?
cool.
Well, not on
And
her
then
own, but
like I'm actually like fucking excited about this tournament, and I don't know how the Owen Hart thing's gonna work. Where it's like, now does she take on Tony Storm? Because I know who's winning
well,
that
this
one
this
too. But
is
that'd
this
be
is
fucking awesome.
qualifiers though, right? So this is not seeding in the bracket. So this is
Okay.
just people to get into the bracket, and
Yes.
then the tournament will lead up to the next pay per view, from what I understand.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I get as well. I just didn't know if they were placing yet, but that makes sense.
No,
That
there's
makes-
no seeding yet from what I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't seen that there wasn't, but if qualifiers don't usually work that way, seeded after
yeah,
after you. So,
yeah.
because I don't want that. I would like to see Tony I would like to say, Tony's obviously going to win if that's the case, but I would like to see Jamie go a little bit deeper than the first round in the tournament if she continues to wrestle at this level.
Yeah, it depends on who's in this fucking show, though. What if she's like one of the lessers? That'd be fucking awesome. I don't know how that's possible, but that'd be awesome.
I mean, who else is going to end up in it, right? Because I don't think
I don't
Thunder
know.
Rosa not going to be in it. Britt Baker's not going to be in it.
Ruby
Nyla
Soho's
Rose isn't
one
going to be in
probably.
it. Ruby Soho probably, yeah.
See, I don't know though. Like, yeah, I don't know who's gonna be in it. Of course, they got to have some squashes in there.
Have to.
So, like, they're gonna put somebody in, like, that's just gonna get killed.
I'm trying to think
Anyways,
of the AEW women's roster. Like, who else? I mean, I know there's a lot on Dark, but like, who else is like a mid card, bigger name that could work through that? It feels like, just off the top of my head, Tony Storm's just going to win the whole thing.
maybe
I mean,
it
unless
might,
maybe
dude.
Britt
It
does
might.
get involved in it. I don't see why she would, but
No, I mean, yeah, it. I just don't know. Yeah, because Anna Jay could, I guess.
yes. I feel like she's somebody who would get squashed.
Shit, but see, she was a big deal for a while. Then she had that injury, and now I
Ty
don't know what's
Conti
the
could get into it, I guess.
Yeah, I know that Sheeta has that thing with Serena Deeb, but like maybe I guess Chris Statlander doesn't have a reason not to be in it other than she's starting with Layla Hirsch. You know what I'm saying?
It
So it's
seems like
like,
everybody's tied up in other things. To put them in this
yeah,
tournament would be odd.
and then like Penelope Ford,
Mm.
like they're not going to start Paige Van Zant yet. Maybe Riho, Red Velvet. Like there's just like a lot of people, and it's just like, but none of these people are winning. You know what
No.
I'm saying?
And Paige Van Zant's not even done training yet.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
man.
we see how some people treat people who are still training with fucking Gable Steveson in WrestleMania. Motherfucker
get
got
there.
so much airtime. We'll get there. Anyways,
I
next
don't like that
segment
dude.
on Rampage, Penta Obscuro, uh, the backstage segment. This is literally just a segment where Abrahantes gets to be a geek and Penta just says "fuck you, House of Black." That's pretty much it. It's just like a classic. Penta Obscuro says, blah blah blah. It's pretty awesome. And then the main event, dude. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee. Holy fuck, this was a big boy match.
There's some big
So
boys. Will Hobbs is a
great,
massive
yeah.
man.
And he looks like a little bitch up against Keith Lee, which is crazy.
It's wild. Keith Lee is so goddamn big.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the pre-match is awesome. Last week I talked about the pre-match and how I loved it because it actually seemed like they were getting like heated with each other, and Mark Henry had to like raise his voice to stop them. This week it's just perfect promos for the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, the pre-match is Powerhouse Hobbs. He cuts a promo on Lee and basically says Lee won't bask in his glory until he experiences defeat. And then Lee retorts, Lee retorts with equal quality, saying Hobbs is mistaken. Lee is unreal, but Hobbs doesn't know what's about to hit him. And then it's time for the main event, as Mark Henry says. The match is about to be underway. They all come down to the ring. Starts off with the proverbial, you know, dick measuring contest. It's two hosses trying to outdo one another. We get that classic story. Hobbs takes a large portion of the match after he essentially football body blocks Lee, which was pretty awesome. But he fucking slams him into that guardrail. Holy shit, what a spot. Like it had to move 6 feet. It had to move like my full height.
I mean, you heard it. Like you heard it slam. It was wild.
The people who paid for tickets for front row are dead. So I don't know what's
Broken
happening.
legs, new knees, knee replacements on the way. I mean, that dude. So
he went all out.
It was. I'd be scared to be in the front row of a match with Keith Lee and Power and anybody who could toss him around on the outside.
Listen to what Charlie just said.
Some way.
Listen to what Charlie just said. Toss Keith Lee around.
Yeah. Who else can do that in AEW? Brian Cage, maybe? But who
Wardlow?
else? What, I don't even know. Certainly not Jake Hager.
This should be the Jake Hager Shade Show is what we should call it.
Right? It's undeserved
I will fucking bury that guy.
He's probably a good guy in real life, but man, he sucks.
No, he's not.
No, he isn't?
We'll talk about that later.
He sucks?
Anyways. Yeah, he sucks, I think. Sorry if you're actually a nice guy. I've only heard bad things about you.
An MMA guy, so he's probably
we all know that he's watching. Yeah, it's like homophobic shit and stuff. Like, shocking. It's just like,
I mean, that's a whole different special episode we could talk about the outside lives
we're
of
probably going to talk
wrestlers.
about it again here shortly when we get to ROH.
With Gabe. Yeah.
No, not that one, but we'll get there. So anyways, then eventually Lee takes over and shows off his strength. He's the bigger man, of course, which Hobbs is not used to. Hobbs power slams Lee. And dude, this looks fucking perfect.
Did you see how high or how like the bounce from the ring on that? Holy shit.
Dude, they
700
bounced
pounds combined weight of 750 pounds just crashing down onto the mat. It was awesome.
Dude, it was perfectly executed. This was a Dustin Rhodes power slam with a guy that's over 300 pounds.
And it looked effortless on Will Hobbs' part too, man. He just whipped him. It was so good.
Never been this big of a Will Hobbs fan. And I like Hobbs.
Yeah, he's cool.
But I'm starting to like Wardlow. They're starting to show him off. And I'm like, fuck, I'm like in.
Yeah, dude.
But then, if the power slam wasn't enough, fucking Keith Lee beals Hobbs across the fucking ring.
Like,
he's not Ricky Starks, dude. No. He's a hoss too.
But he tossed him like he was fucking Ricky Starks because it was like a legit beal. Ring. It was a legit beal. It was awesome.
I don't care how much he jumped. You don't jump that high. He fucking tossed him.
That was clear across the ring.
God damn.
It was so good.
So Starks runs runs from the announce table to the ring with a chair, goes to swing it at Lee, but Lee just fucking punches it, which is so awesome. He just legit just swings, and of course Starks looks terrified and then angry.
It's a good time to have this shock face.
Yeah. And he's good at it too. I have to give Starks some
facial expressions tell the story really well.
Yeah, Starks is good on the mic, but he's a little too much sometimes for me on the mic. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like he could be a Jericho eventually where he just gets on my nerves. But here's the thing. When he's in the ring, he sells great. Like, I love the way he does all of that. So Taz runs down to ringside, which we don't see Taz get involved anymore. Early on he used to, but not anymore. The ref is distracted. Hobbs spine busters Lee and pins him, but there's no ref. So this is fascinating because you have the heel covering the baby face, but he doesn't get it because of the heel faction. So like that's weird. I wonder what they're gonna do with Hobbs there. And certainly would have gotten a 3. He'd gotten a 5. I mean, he had it. He had him. But Team Taz fucks things up. And then Swerve Strickland runs out, starts fucking up Starks. And Taz is just yelling at everybody. And then Hobbs yanks the ref into the ring and goes to give Lee another move, but Lee reverses it into his finisher. 1, 2, 3. Keith Lee wins.
That was a big Death Valley driver, too.
Fuck.
That was big.
That DVD slam or whatever the fuck, dude. Yeah. And then the post-match, Starks hits Swerve with the chair. Starks Rochambeau Swerve through the ringside table. Jumps in the ring with the chair. Lee knocks him down. Hobbs hits Lee with in the back while he's distracted. And then Hobbs says, "Get the table." And then Hobbs spears Lee through the table because it's sat
He's up
diagonally
against the
against
turnbuckle.
the up against the turnbuckle in the corner. He tackles him through that, dude. And holy shit, this feud clearly isn't over, and I'm here for it, man.
Dude,
It's real good.
just to the amount of inertia and the large bodies in that match, it was just cool to see. Just two giant heavyweights battling it out. It was so fun. It was well done. It was well wrestled. The ending was good, I thought.
Story
It,
continues, the whole thing.
I'm here for it, especially adding Swerve into it too. I'm here for it. I want to see Keith Lee Swerve
Yeah.
tag team.
I'll say this about, and that might be the way they have to use both of them because there's so much in the singles run that maybe tags are the way for them to go so they can both get equal airtime here. But speaking of Swerve, sorry, I don't know why I keep having to like clear my nasal passages. So speaking of Swerve, though, Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. First match is Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane. And even with this match, though it's a pretty good match, I still have not seen a Swerve Strickland match.
You missed a vignette, sir, or a promo.
What did I miss?
Dan Lambert
What was that one?
and Sammy Guevara and Ty beating up his car.
Oh, I did miss that one, didn't I? I don't remember when that was, but they beat the fuck out of the car.
It did,
Ty
and Dan
barely,
Lambert still rules.
yeah, dude, Dan Lambert rules. Yeah, Ty could barely swing that sledgehammer, and
She dropped it the first time.
swing she dropped it. Yeah, they're such geeks. They need
Really
to go
are.
heel real quick because
don't like
they're
it.
not going to get over that way.
I do not like it. I think I was never a big Sammy outside like his gimmick and like personality. I was never a big fan of. I think he's amazing in the ring, but it's even worse bringing Ty into it now. I thought they were gonna do something cool and give her a bit of edge,
Me
like we
too.
talked about, and now it's just this hokey like high school sweetheart shit, and it's terrible.
You're not Heathers, okay? You're not Heathers. Don't try to be Heathers. You will never be
Yeah,
Christian Slater.
it's so
So
bad.
the I'm gonna overview this show, but there's one match I have to talk about, and I might bring up a couple of things because there are a few talking points, but they're not long.
I'm gonna mind my business because
Um,
I did not watch it. Just so everybody knows, I
yeah,
have it downloaded, or I mean, I purchased it and have legally obtained it. I just have not gotten to watch it yet. You can
yeah,
watch social media for my takes after I get a chance to.
yeah. I just want to say that we just did that in an hour, by the way. So,
It's pretty
or a
impressive.
little over an hour actually, but still, it doesn't matter. All right, so we get to Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, and I just decided on a whim I was going to watch this because I had the time, and I figured this is a show because Tony Khan just bought Ring of Honor. He's running this show. I want to see how they play it out.
Is he the head booker over there
And
now since he took it over?
fucking seems like it after this. Yeah, and he was at all the media scrums, so I'm assuming he's like the dude now. But here's the thing. There were like two matches that I was really looking forward to, and I'll get to them as we go. I'm only going to talk about one, though. And that's why I was like, no, I'll just watch it. Why not? And then we'll talk about it, and I'll do an overview. First match is Swerve Strickland.
Actually, before you get into it, sorry.
Yeah.
How long is it? Is it like a 3-hour pay per view?
3 hours, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's it. That's all I wanted to ask.
Thanks for stopping the talk when I take a drink. That's cool. All right. So Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane. I had no idea who Alex Zane was, but he's pretty good.
Sami Zayn's brother.
Um, yeah, he wishes. He's not that good, but he's good. They have a good match. It's a pretty good match. There's I just still have not been impressed with Swerve yet. He's an awesome dude, but match bell to bell. He needs a good feud or something because I know he's got it, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
But dude, this motherfucker, talk about that Poison Rana and that House of Black thing. I sent you a video of this when I watched it. Dude, Swerve, like Alex Zane jumps over the ropes or whatever and does a reverse hurricanrana, Poison Rana on Strickland on the apron, off the fucking ring to the outside. He's dead. He'll never be alive again. Swerve. That was fucking awesome, was it not? I sent
was
you that
good.
fucking video.
yeah, I did watch it, and it was. I mean, it was a sick move. It was a sick move, no doubt about that.
All you sent me back was holy shit. I'm like, fuck right, yeah.
What else could you say about it? It was just like, okay, this guy just murdered Swerve.
It was awesome. It was the great. It's probably I don't even know. And what's crazy is I don't even know if that's the best spot of the whole pay per view, but it was fucking up there. So,
Interesting.
anyways, Swerve wins though with the JML driver. It's a pretty good match. So then it's Ninja Mac, who had no fucking idea who that was.
No idea. Never even
And
heard of it.
I haven't watched Ring of Honor in forever, guys. So just so everybody knows, I got way out of that real quick. Like after like the 2010s or something. Like I was OG Ring of Honor shit I watched, but
I think I said it. I was at
so
their first show in Philadelphia. I think I've said that on the
yeah,
show before.
yeah, keep it down, Charlie.
What the fuck that was?
So Ninja Mac versus, listen to this, Tully Blanchard's new acquisition. So Tully Blanchard has a Ring of Honor faction I didn't know about, and he's trying to acquire a new team here. And guess who? The fucking first person. Well, not the first. There was a pre-show where you had a tag team, but fucking Brian Cage comes out with a fucking mohawk. This guy.
So big.
I'm watching this match. And I'm like, first off, this is why he extended his contract with Tony Khan, I'm assuming. But dude, he's squashing Ninja here. And again, I'm not going to talk about all these matches to an extent. I just need to say this about Cage because this whole time in AEW, he's a decent worker, great big guy who has some agility. He has been so boring in AEW to me, and I'm not surprised they didn't use him. Really, he is fucking awesome in this squash match, dude. He has a fucking attitude. He's playing to the crowd. He's beating the fuck out of this guy, and every move he does looks good. Anybody listening to me right now, if you can find this, if you can watch this, just watch this little squash match. It's fucking awesome. I
I'm
thought it was awesome.
curious. I haven't seen Brian Cage since I first started watching AEW when he was still the FTW champion.
Yeah.
Because he lost it like shortly after I started watching, I think. And I haven't seen him since. So you can't even, I don't think you can say he's boring. He's non-existent. He just hasn't been
Yeah,
on
but
the
he
show.
was there long before you watched it, though. I watched all those matches.
I guess I
He
meant
just
in the
wasn't
past like 4, 6, I don't know what,
in the
6,
past
7
year.
months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he
not
hasn't
around.
even. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, yes.
And he's a
But even like
monster of a
when he was,
human, and I love my heavyweights. And dude, he is a big fucking dude.
he's awesome. He was awesome here. Now I know why his wife got pissed when he wasn't being used. And he's like, he's a top guy. And when I saw that shit, I was like, no, he ain't. Which
Well,
I don't say
hopefully they
ain't
don't.
usually, but I felt like saying it there. But the point is, I was like, no, he isn't. And then I watch him here, and I'm like, yeah, he fucking is. Tony, what are you doing?
I
Dude's
mean,
awesome.
I mean, as long as he, doesn't pop positive for PEDs, maybe he'll be able to keep wrestling.
Here's the thing, too. What the fuck? How do you fuck up having Taz as your spokesperson? Why wasn't he doing this in AEW?
Well, now he's
Who's
got
holding you
Tully.
back, Brian?
I,
Who's holding you back?
Tony Khan. Fuck Tony. No,
No,
no, we like Tony
he's
around here.
okay. But Tully Blanchard, though, I love seeing him there. So that was cool. Next match. Oh, sorry. Of course, Cage wins. I don't feel like I even need to say that. Drill Claw and Tully Blanchard, Enterprises is his faction.
Imagine if it was a squash match the other way, and you're talking about Brian Cage, but he's the one that got squashed by fucking Ninja whoever.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like Fuego winning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like dude's like this little cool. I mean, he's cool. I liked him, but
Is he wearing a mask? I feel like
crazy.
he's wearing a mask.
Looks like a fucking ninja. Yeah.
Does
like,
he actually wrestle? I mean, that's kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So, anyways, Tully's doing this faction thing. It's a good squash match. Everybody should watch it. Next match is Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty with Matt Sydal, who's
Lee
on
Moriarty,
crutches.
huh?
Yep. So all AEW talent here. Great story. And it's like the old and young story because, of course, Jay Lethal is the guy who held the title cumulatively the longest. Of course,
What was that word?
cumulatively. All right.
You enunciate it. It's good.
Yep. He used it, or he used it. He wasn't the person that held the longest single reign. We'll get there. But he combined all of his reigns were the longest that held title. So he is like the franchise, as he calls himself. But Lee Moriarty is basically saying, like, yeah, you're old news now, though. I'm taking over, right? And of course, I think Lee Moriarty kind of learned under Jay Lethal a bit. And so there's this whole story. Fuck, man, this story's great. And what's awesome is Jay Lethal eventually low blows Moriarty when the ref isn't looking in order to win. And Lethal, when he
really?
hits him, Lethal looks so disappointed in himself, dude. It's fucking awesome, and the crowd
Huh.
boos so hard. I mean, because it's Ring of Honor, so he breaks the honor code,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he does this thing. He gets booed out the fucking building. Lethal eventually starts beating the shit out of him. Fuck you, Lethal chants start going. Lethal's full heel now. Okay. So they perpetuate an AEW story in Ring of Honor, and it's
Man,
fucking awesome. So
I have to
this isn't
watch
even the
this
match.
now.
You have to watch the whole show. It's awesome. So anyways, Jay Lethal wins though. Okay, so he's the franchise
I
still
can't
a
believe
little
he
bit.
broke the honor code. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened in Ring of Honor, but when it does, it is
Yeah.
a monumental thing. And
Well,
the fact that the crowd got behind it was like, "Yep, fuck you,"
yep.
is great.
Well, there are a few, from what I understand, breaking of the honor code,
There's
and
been
so
a
that's
couple.
no. I mean, like on this show alone,
Oh,
and I'm
really?
kind of yeah, and I'm like, man, are they getting rid of it a bit? Like, I don't know what they're doing with that. It's kind of weird for an ROH thing,
I mean, over
but
the
man, the
the what
show,
15 years or 10 years that ROH has been around. I mean, it's not like unheard of, but multiple times in a show, that's it's a lot.
yeah,
That'd be
it's been around
interesting.
since like the early 2000s, so like
It has
20
to be,
plus
yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, 15, yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
So the next match is a women's match. It's Willow, who I'd never heard of, versus Mercedes Martinez, who of course we know. It's here we go with interim shit again. Interim Ring of Honor World's Women title. I don't know what the story is here, so I
Need a
can't tell
champion.
anyone.
That's the story.
But Willow is this very bubbly character. You know what I mean? Like very just kind of happy. She's clearly like a baby face through and through. Can't be anything else. And Mercedes isn't like a heel in this at all. She's kind of a tweener a bit, you know. And Willow does this moonsault that fucking kills Mercedes. Holy shit. It's like Jeff Hardy doing his swantons. Just lands on her straight up and she's dead. But Mercedes Martinez wins with a submission. It's like a surfboard dragon sleeper like Brian Danielson does. It's fucking awesome. It's a pretty good match too. Uh, sorry.
Mercedes can work.
Yeah, it was good. Heavy hitting. I mean, it was a good women's match, better than most of the AEW stuff. Now, this is the match I want to talk. I know I've kind of talked a little bit about these, but this is the fucking match, guys. I'm going to tell you now, this is my match of the year so far.
Match of the
I
year.
think this will be a match of the year contender by the end of the year, and we're not even in April. We're just started April now. It is the Briscoes versus FTR Ring of Honor Tag Team Title match. First off, I've told you this off air, Charlie. I've seen the Briscoes a little bit. A lot of it was early on Briscoes, and then I saw parts of matches later. I know who they are. I get their gimmick. I know all that, but I just haven't watched much of them. So this was like my first kind of updated. Let's see what the Briscoes can do now,
Very good, despite being scumbags.
dude. They're like the fucking. I throw the Young Bucks in there. They're your three greatest fucking tag teams. Like holy shit, Briscoes are fucking gnarly. Holy shit, chance start before it even begins. FTR, this is their debut. FTR's debut. So they've been talking shit on social media for like months now. Um, and
They're another one with really
FTR,
great social media game, particularly Dax.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Dax and Jay Briscoe are the two that go at it on online. So of course, when they get in the ring later, the place explodes because like they know they're the shit talkers. So FTR does not adhere to the code of honor either. They refuse to shake their hand at the beginning. So this is another one where I'm like,
Mhm.
because dude, FTR's playing the heels, which they're turning babyface on the other show.
I mean, when you're against the Briscoes, though, I mean, you could be a heel and still be more over than them. Well, I guess
Yeah,
not over, but more babyface,
I
I
know what you
guess.
mean. They refuse the handshake, but this match starts going, and they're already screaming tag team wrestling chants. Tag team wrestling, because it's just from the beginning fucking great. It's that slow burn at the beginning, like a Japanese match, and then it just starts building and building until there's like these huge high spots. FTR, like I said, are playing the heels. Jay Briscoe has Dax in a head scissors at one point, and then Dax just like headstands and backs out of it and just spits straight in Jay's face immediately, which you're not, again, not a very honorable thing to do.
No, Not at all.
And then he just jumps out of the ring. And of course, Jay Briscoe's beside himself. He's just fuming. But he straight up just spits straight in his face immediately. And then, yeah, again, not an honorable behavior. The pacing is perfect, though. If you want to watch a tag match with perfect pacing, this is the one. This is just fucking classic, dude. Okay, so Jay gets color first. It's the first in the show where someone bleeds. And then the near falls start coming out. And it's like, I have no idea who's going to win. Now, once it ends, I'm like, oh, that's like the thing that only makes sense. But while I'm watching, I'm like, I have no idea who's going to win. These near falls are crazy. Jay Briscoe suplexes Dax. So you know how people will be on the apron and someone's inside and they'll try to suplex him in the ring and they'll stop him. And then they'll fake like they're going to put him out and stop. And then they go in. Jay Briscoe, the second time, straight up puts Dax out of the ring. So he suplexes him out, and they fall off the apron and collapse on the ground.
God.
The fucking doctor runs over to Dax. Like, I mean, it looked like it fucking hurt, dude. It was awesome. And then, like, FTR win the ROH tag titles out of fucking nowhere with a big rig, and it's a perfect finish. Because when they hit it, it's logical. It makes sense why it would happen. Just no one in the fucking room expected it. So as soon as Dax lifts him up and Cash runs up for the knees where he's going to do the big rig, the crowd blows up before the move happens, right? And they pin him and they fucking FTR's debut. They win the ROH championship. It's a perfect match. It ends in honorable closure where at that point, then FTR does the Wayne's World bow to them and shakes their hand and hugs them. And now they're kind of babyface a bit, right? And dude, it is sincerely the best match I've seen all year so far. And I am assuming, and I'll bring this back up in a second, so we won't talk about it now. But I'm assuming the reason why these people are winning is because Tony Khan wants the people with the titles to be on his payroll. And not just free agents who like kind of have the titles but aren't doing anything with them. Because everyone is on his payroll who's winning up to this point.
But wouldn't the entirety of ROH be on his payroll?
No, nobody has a contract with ROH. Contracts were released, so it's like a pay per.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't realize
thing.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So last December, they like essentially let everyone go, but they were going to like, when we have shows, we'll hire you back for those shows. Is what it was.
So
and that was
work.
before Tony bought it. That was like the other guy. So maybe they are. I mean, when we get to the end of this, as you know what happens, like maybe they are signing people to ROH. Like I don't know what that looks like yet. But anyways, so it's a perfect match. FTR walks up the ramp, they leave, and they give the Briscoes a moment. And this is the farewell, right? The Briscoes are standing there kind of defeated. They have their arms on their hips. They're kind of walking, and everyone's just like, thank you, Briscoes. And they're doing all this stuff because obviously no one knows what's going to happen to them because TBS and the Warner Media Group won't let Tony hire them because of their very homophobic 2013 tweet where Jay Briscoe basically said, if anybody teaches my kid that gay marriage is equal to not gay marriage, then I'll take my gun and show him who's boss. It's like some fucked up,
it's awful,
super fucked up thing.
Yeah.
He has since apologized the best way anyone can. I mean, he has admitted he's wrong. He's done all the things. But the thing that worries me too is some people, even as recent as 2018 and backstage, have talked about how he's like said fucked up stuff still. And I just don't fucking know about this guy. But at the same time, I'm all about redemption. So it's like, if they're really turning, because they said it was because of like religious beliefs, but that they don't hold those anymore. So it's like it's just different. I don't know what to think of it. It's a fucked up situation. That's not the only reason though. They're just generally controversial as a tag team, and Warner Media Group's just like, we don't want that on our show. But if Ring of Honor is not on Warner, and if the Briscoes are never on their show, then Tony can do the fuck he wants. So I don't know what's going on. But did you want to say something to that?
I mean, it's just, I don't know, the whole thing. We've talked about this off air, right? This is not uncommon in professional wrestling, right? I mean,
not at all.
This is very much commonplace with a lot of wrestlers. Not all of them, right? But these weird, I shouldn't say weird, these points of view that are not as accepted or not as okay, or however you want to look at it. No, lots of guys have these, almost all of them, right? Again, many of them.
Yeah, these days people are a bit more woke, but when you go back to like Attitude Era, there's a lot like everyone, all of them were that
Well, I
way.
mean, the
Like,
Briscoes, even thinking, we'll talk about them in a minute, but like all of them, many of them, I'm using all, but I mean generally, a lot of these guys have these weird histories in past. Think about like Gabe Stevenson, right? Like he's
I
got,
don't know what that is. Tell me what's happening. I don't even know what you're referring to.
2019, he was indicted for rape.
Jesus
The charges
fuck.
were eventually dropped, but um, there's some weird circumstances around it. So this is kind of business that these things kind of get swept under the table. You don't really look at it. It's not like the NFL, which, well, it's very much like the NFL. This shit doesn't matter if you can put on a show. And it's interesting to me that Warner is like, nah, not these dudes. When you have folks like, I don't know, Jericho, who has said some weird shit, obviously not threatening death on anybody
No,
to
he
some
just
extent,
it's like
but
an all lives matter thing. I mean, he said weird shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
Like,
that's even if I have a major issue with some of those things, it's not like as a broadcast station, that's just like, your opinion, man. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing. But like, yeah, the Briscoes, I get that they're controversial, but I know like fucked up shit that people on that payroll have done, but they just don't talk about that shit.
that's
When
the
I
thing.
say they, I mean like they kind of just like we don't see that side of a lot of these wrestlers, right?
We see the
Like they even
character.
had, yeah, they had Greg the Hammer Valentine during the very first dog collar match between Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes, which we'll come back to him later. And Greg the Hammer Valentine was in the audience, and I heard from sources in the back. I can actually say that this time that that dude was a fucking asshole. And he was like a big Trump dude. He had this big Trump mask, which I mean, to each your own. I just think Trump's a fucking idiot,
Well, he is.
and an asshole and a terrible dirtbag. But anyways, but he had a mask on, and he was fighting with Tony Khan, saying he would not go out there unless he could wear that mask on air. And they eventually stopped him because they're like, we have people he's talking shit about and hurting. That's our roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of the people that have like maybe differing sexual persuasions or identities, and people of color and all of these things, and you're basically saying fuck you to them. We're not letting you do this thing. And it's not about like free speech. It's about like you're being harmful and like passively violent
Hmm?
toward these people with this behavior. So, anyways, my point is, it's a lot of places, and it doesn't excuse any of it, and it's not justified. I'm all about redemption. If someone actually wants to make a change, I am all about helping them do that. But I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on with these guys. Clearly, Tony, well, I should say clearly. It seems like Tony thinks the Briscoes have turned a new leaf because it seems like he's willing to hire them, and he's pretty picky. Sammy, who was their pillar, said a fucked up rape line, and it's clear he meant it as a joke. Like it was like several years ago, and Tony almost fired Sammy years back, like a couple years ago. And because Sammy basically, they were talking about some WWE like diva women's wrestler, and he was on a podcast, and he goes, "Oh, I'd rape her," and he was just like trying to be funny.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
not funny. That's not funny.
No.
I'm saying he was like trying to be like controversial and taboo. Like that was just like his humor. But Tony made him go through this whole counseling thing and like sensitivity training. It's like you like if you want to be here, I know that was like 6 or 7 years ago or whatever, or 5 years ago, but like you have to be better than this.
I mean,
'Cause
that's
you will
shit you'd
not.
hear in a fucking Xbox Live lobby. Like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing?
That's such a good comparison. But anyway, so this Briscoes FTR match ends, and Briscoes are in the ring, and the crowd starts going crazy, and nothing's happening. I'm like, what's happening? And eventually, it cuts to like the hard cam, and the Young Bucks are in the ring, and the Briscoes turn around, and they get super kicked in the fucking face, and the Young Bucks go to fuck him up, And FTR, of course, runs out, and the Young Bucks jump out. It's fucking incredible. I'm telling you, because the Young Bucks get a mic, and as they're walking toward the stage, they're out of the ring. FTR is obviously in there with the Briscoes protecting them. And the Young Bucks do this great promo, but it's also really weird because they're doing a promo for Dynamite, basically. No joke. No joke. It's an AEW Dynamite. But what's great about it is Matt's talking the whole time. And Matt Jackson is basically saying, like, hey, everybody, it's good to see you again. It's been a while, since we've been here. We just started our own company and then bought you. And I mean, they're like being bastards, right?
Yeah.
Everyone fucking hates them. They're booing in like a good way. Dude, it's fucking great. You got to see this. That whole promo's like, it's awkward, but in the best way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
But
once we're done
anyways,
here, I might just watch it immediately, and I'll
yeah.
do my recap in retrospective. No, I'm joking.
No, dude, I'm all about it. I'll give you time next week. I don't give a fuck. I would love to
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
give
this
me
with you,
time.
but
Thank you.
I will. Yeah, you are my co-host. No, I was kidding. That is definitely not true, everybody. He could shut me down immediately, actually.
I
He
literally have
he
full
holds the reins.
control over everything here.
You have everything. Yeah. Um, but anyways, there's not a bad match on the show. There are better than other matches, you know what I mean? But there's not really bad one. The next match is rushed as fuck. However, like someone went over or something. Because it's Minoru Suzuki versus Rhett Titus. Never heard of Rhett Titus in my life.
Minoru's there, huh?
Minoru Suzuki,
Oh, no
and
shit.
it's for, it's for the TV title. Suzuki fucking wins with a Gotch style pile driver and is now the new TV champion of Ring of Honor, which is fucking awesome.
That is
That
fucking
means we're
awesome.
gonna see more Suzuki in the area.
Holy shit.
Lots of changes tonight. Again, I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's a decent match. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's just Suzuki doesn't get to be like Murder Grandpa, really. He's just kind of like,
That
I'm
strong
gonna
style
beat you
takes
up
a
a
long
bit.
time the build, and if it was
It
like a
wasn't
quick,
long. Yeah, but he beats. It's like Rhett Titus was the champ
who
because
is
you
this
just beat
guy?
him like a bitch. Seriously, dude. Suzuki beats him like a bitch, and that's when I first start. That's why I put lots of changes tonight in my notes because I'm like, man, I feel like Tony is just trying to get the belts on people that are kind of on his payroll. Because Minoru is obviously New Japan, but he has had him on AEW. He works with him. Yeah, Rhett Titus is just like a little skinny nerd.
Yeah,
He
he
was
looks like
good.
a Dollar Tree Kenny Omega. Like, the hell are we looking at
That
here?
better be clipped. Um,
Poor
no,
guy.
Rhett Titus was like, he's like, they kept like pointing out he's like a vegan and stuff.
I mean, he's
And it's like,
super
okay,
ripped, I guess. Like, I don't give a
yeah,
fuck
he
that he's
is.
a vegan, but
But me neither. But it's like they kept putting that over. I'm like, okay, like I get it, man. You're fine.
enjoy
So,
your
anyways,
spinach and beans.
yeah, it was a decent match, dude. It really was. It just wasn't. It just didn't have time to do anything. I mean, it was whatever. And it just ended, dude. Minoru Suzuki's whole thing is he puts you in a sleeper and then he spins you around really quick and tries to pile drive you, right? But the whole point is he gets foiled multiple times and it builds up to him doing it. And then I'm pretty sure this was like the first time he tried it and he beat him. And I'm like, wait,
Just
what?
worked.
It just worked. Or if it was not the first, it was the second. And I was just like, that's so weird. Because every match I've ever seen of Suzuki, he does it like 10 times. Because that's like the joke is he spins him too quickly and he doesn't give him enough chance to like make him go to sleep. And then they basically get out of it,
I feel
right?
like something probably went long or something, but I mean, it was on Fight
Had to.
though, so like, why would they be stressed for time? It's not like Fight has
Well,
another thing coming up immediately.
no, but I think all of these pay-per-views because WWE has done it and AEW where I think that on these channels you still have a limited block of time.
Like,
Like
yeah, I
you're
guess that's
paying
true.
for this time or whatever or however it works. I don't
Well,
know how
there
it
is
works.
I mean,
Um,
we'll get to it when we get to WrestleMania. There's a few things that cut from WrestleMania that I've heard about
yep.
because of that
And that's what
timing.
I'm saying. But it's streaming on Peacock. Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
But
well, it's the same
that's
thing.
why
Fight
it's like
TV, like same thing.
yeah.
Like it's not like they have regular programming. Like it's
Well, that's what
just
I'm saying. Yeah. Like
it's weird.
WWE is probably under the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
yeah, I don't get it, but it's
But
not not for us to get. We're not in the business like
yeah,
that way.
this match,
Just
dude.
wrestling journalists.
Yeah, you should look this guy up while I'm talking. Josh Woods in Ring of Honor. This guy is a fucking awesome guy. I'd never seen this guy either. Josh Woods versus Wheeler Yuta for the Pure Championship match. You know what the Pure Championship is? Well, fucking neither did I. The title can only be won under certain rules,
What's his
okay?
name?
His name's Josh Woods. Uh, it can only be won under certain rules, so it's like a gimmick match, but it's a billion times better than like a cage match or like a ladder match because it's still just a match, but you get like you cannot punch people closed fist in the face. You only get 3 rope breaks. So after that, you can touch the rope all you want, but you either submit or you get pinned.
Huh.
So it kind of like puts the pressure where like there's a point where Josh Woods puts Wheeler Yuta in a submission and he immediately grabs the rope. And then you see the story of Yuta just like being really disappointed because he's like, fuck, like my instinct took over, but now I just lost one, right? And they really play to that kind of a story. Dude,
Huh.
these pure match, these I don't want the whole thing to be that, but these like random pure championship matches, it was awesome. But
This guy looks like a
long
UFC guy.
dude, he's pretty good, dude. And
Huh.
he's like a shoot guy. Like he looks like he's killing you and wrestling proper. He's pretty good.
Hmm.
So, anyways, great gimmick match, but Yuta wins with a fucking signature roll up, dude.
The most devastating move in.
I mean, it wasn't a normal roll up. It was like he has like a very signature roll up he does. Another one that felt like it just ended out of nowhere. So
Wait,
it's
so
the
he's the
match is
pure
good.
champion now?
He's the fucking ROH pure champion.
What the?
I'm
Okay.
telling you, dude. AEW all the way. So here's another fucking weird thing. Are you ready for this?
Tony Khan definitely booked this. What?
Yeah. So Ring of Honor World Championship match, last main event. Bandito with Chavo Guerrero Jr. Is that where he went? I don't fucking know what's going on. I didn't even know Tully was here.
So is that a
So
work?
then maybe
The
he
Chavo
was
thing?
maybe that was the plan the whole time, and then they took him off the AEW thing because he's an ROH guy. Like I don't know what happened because he hadn't bought ROH yet, so I don't know what happened with Chavo. But the point is, Chavo might have history with Bandito outside of Ring of Honor, and he was just there. I don't know. But anyways, Bandito versus Jonathan Gresham. Now I knew who Jonathan Gresham and Bandito were before this, so these guys were people I knew. It's for the World Championship. Their tie-up, the tie-ups in this pay-per-view are real tie-ups. These are not like quick transitions to a headlock. This is like they're fucking fighting each other in a like elbow and what the fuck collar and elbow tie-up.
Color, yeah.
Fucking great, dude. No exceptions here. They were really great. Gresham ends up winning this very well fought match. This is a pretty decently long match, like a half an hour or something. And it's a good match. It still pales in comparison to that tag match. I don't know why that was in the middle. That shit should have been the main event. Like I don't understand. Other than it just being wanting to put the championship last, which I get. But Gresham retains. Bandito. Oh, Chavo keeps trying to cheat, and Bandito's trying to uphold the code of honor. So he actually tells the ref on Chavo, and Chavo gets thrown out, which is I've never ever seen that before.
That's
So
hilarious.
that was awesome. But Bandito got his own manager kicked out, so that's like super funny. But anyways, this was probably the second best match of the night in terms of just proper quality. The Yuta one was good, but again, it just ends out of nowhere. Just the end got weird, and I just don't know what they were doing. This one was solid though; they had plenty of time. But then Jay Lethal comes out to challenge Gresham, but he's acting real cool. He's not acting like super heel at this point, and he's an AEW talent, mind you. Lethal starts talking with Gresham, and he's talking about how he knows he's mentored him in the past and everything, and he just wants to come out here. He doesn't mean to steal his thunder. He wants him to have his time. He super happy for him, all this stuff. And he goes, I just wanted to be the first person to come out and challenge you for the ROH title. Gresham's like, well, I don't think I want to do that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't remember. But something happens where Lethal gets pissed, and he starts beating up Gresham. So he goes full heel here. And then guess who fucking comes out? Fucking Samoa Joe comes out.
I did
And
know that.
this place, you knew that, but you didn't know
Yeah.
it was there.
Yeah.
This place fucking explodes. Okay. You just start hearing him say, Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's gonna kill you. And he's just in the fucking ring. And I don't know if they're setting up something with Gresham and Lethal, or if they're setting up something with Lethal and Joe, or if it's all three, because Joe saved Gresham. But fucking Joe signed with AEW and ROH. I am fucking stoked about this. And I want to say one thing, and then I want to pass it to you because I know you like Joe too. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. You like Joe, don't you?
We'll get there.
Okay. I'll pass it off to you to give me your thoughts, then I should say. I shouldn't assume. But I also want to say this, and then I'll get your thoughts. I'm assuming, like I said earlier, a lot of these title changes is because Tony Khan can control his titles now. Because literally every title except for Jonathan Gresham, who to my knowledge is not signed by Tony Khan, everyone else who won a title, I'm pretty sure, was an AEW talent. And I'm assuming that this is so that they can control that. And now Gresham is going to probably go up against Lethal, who is an AEW talent. So it keeps it kind of in that wheelhouse. At least there's a program with someone to win. It's so interesting because this really did feel. It was very clear that Tony Khan owned this place. They even talked about it on commentary. There was a straight up ad for Dynamite at one point. Now, I'm not talking about the Young Bucks thing. That was a different thing.
Yeah.
Like there was literally a video package ad for something. So I mean, like, it's very clear who owns this. But so it's a weird thing. How do you feel about all of this? Samoa Joe, the whole AEW roster winning, basically. Like, what do you think?
The AEW roster thing is interesting. Not surprising because I did see stuff afterwards in wrestling media, people talking like, yep, Tony Khan definitely owns this place, and this felt like an AEW takeover more than anything else. So that's not, hearing it in the recap from you is like, yeah, okay, this is probably expected, and it makes sense, I guess, if we're talking about like who's on payroll, and if we're just resetting ROH, which would be fine, that's okay. So that's one thing. And I'm curious to watch this all unfold now after hearing about it, to be honest with you. So I'll have more on that next week once I actually see it occur.
If you have any
However,
points, we got to save time next week because
yeah.
I want to hear what you think. Even up top, I don't care. Just we don't have to go over the whole thing again. Just specific things you want to say. I'm open to it.
The Samoa Joe thing, though, I be honest with you, I missed the boat on Samoa Joe. I know who he is. I remember him from TNA. I watched TNA when he was there. I remember when he was the world champion there. I remember he's good in the ring. I don't remember loving him. I didn't really get why he was so over. That's not
Yeah.
something that I ever really got. And I know he's beloved. I know that. Everybody fucking loves this dude. But it never really worked for me. And it's not that I don't like him. It's like I just don't see it. I don't think that charisma it doesn't work for me, his type of charisma.
Dude,
And he's
I'll
just
say this.
old now from the pictures I saw, which is
Well, he's like 43 or something. Which
but he's out of shape. He's out of shape. He's
he's
never
always
really
been out of
been.
shape.
It's worse than it,
I mean,
it's worse than I remember.
he's in shape in terms of can do the ring shape, but
he's in shape in that he's round. I mean, he is a shape.
No, he'll kill people, dude. So
I just don't
I'm
get
gonna
it. So tell me what I'm
you
missing with
gotta
Samoa Joe.
he will put anyone to task on the mic at AEW, and I'm not talking about MJF too. He's not better, but I'm saying you put Samoa Joe against MJF, and they're gonna have a better back and forth than any two people, right? Maybe second to maybe even Regal. You know what I mean? Like where Regal would probably have great. Samoa Joe's one of those great talkers. That's why he went to
Really
commentary and he was so good in NXT
interesting.
whenever they wouldn't let him wrestle. His
Why would they let him
promos are
wrestle?
brutal. He got an injury that they wouldn't let him. They just
Um,
didn't want him to like get more hurt, so they put him on commentary.
yeah, I guess when he was in TNA, I just don't remember his. I mean, this was what 15 years ago at this point. It's
Yeah,
2005 he won it. I
yeah,
think he was I just don't remember.
his big thing was ROH though. So whenever we get this fucking dream streaming service, maybe we can watch some
I mean,
Samoa
HBO
Joe.
Max.
Yeah. But then whenever Samoa Joe was in NXT, he had fucking awesome matches with people like Shinsuke Nakamura and different people where he would just fucking murder these guys. And there's a reason that he went up against Brock Lesnar whenever Brock Lesnar was on top and had the title for a billion years. Once he made it to the main roster, because Samoa Joe is a fucking badass, and he was the
Mm.
only dude that could like kill Brock Lesnar. Of course, Brock Lesnar essentially squashes him because he was just too big a name at the time. And Samoa Joe, even though he's a fucking badass and could murder everyone, he lost. But the point is, like, the WWE dropped the ball on Samoa Joe, and he wanted to keep wrestling, but they just wouldn't let him. And there's a whole
Interesting.
story. We can talk about that another
Wasn't
time.
he
But
didn't he win like a tag championship with Finn Balor or something like that at some point? Is
I
that a
don't know.
thing?
I don't know about that. Maybe
It doesn't matter. It's just, like I said, my
he's
memory
but
of Samoa
it,
Joe is just so sparse. Obviously, like seeing him, I know who he is. How can you not?
yeah, of
But I
course, yeah.
just don't remember. Nothing sticks out.
I have to say this, man. I felt the same as you. I won't lie. I felt the exact same as you until I went back and started watching some shit when he was in NXT. Because I started watching stuff before then. Because it was like, why is he so popular? Because
Yeah.
I just didn't get it either. And I heard, I don't know if this is true at all, but on one of the Conrad Thompson podcasts, I think it was Bruce Pritchard, he asked, why didn't they get Samoa Joe earlier? And the word around the table, I guess, was Samoa Joe was from the wrong family. Because all the Samoan guys or all the Hawaiian guys that are there are in the Rocks family, like that
Yeah.
Haku and all that shit. Like all those
Head
guys are from
shrinkers,
the same.
etc.
Yeah, yeah. All of
Just in the
those are
wrong
from that
family.
that. No, seriously, because he's in like the other Hawaiian family that wrestles.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's
Um,
just the tribalism, I guess, of
yeah,
wrestling.
yeah. So again, I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that
It sounds like
uh,
wrestling.
it does. And dude, I'm here for Joe, and I might have to. You'll have to just look up on YouTube some promos because he's real fucking good at it. You should watch the media scrum actually they did after ROH with Tony Khan. He and Tony Khan are sitting at a table, and he basically says, they're like, "What are you gonna do? Like, what do you want to accomplish here at ROH or AEW?" And he's like, "I want the fucking title. Like, I want to prove to everyone when I walk in there." And you could tell this is a bit of a work, but his promos are so good it sounds like a shoot, like he's been talking the whole time. And he's just like, when I get there, everyone's going to understand that they're no longer number one, and they will know that I'm the big dog in this place, and I will beat every person down until I get that title. And it's just like, and he's like, I want all of them. Like, he's just like, if you have something I want, I will take it. And it's just he's fucking good, man.
Is he heel?
Um, oh, I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna be. They haven't done anything with that.
Okay.
But even if he's a baby face, he's gonna be that kind of like John Moxley, like confident hard ass. You
Interesting.
know what I mean?
I have to
I,
go
I
back
would
and
have.
watch some stuff. I just, like I said, it's just like a blind spot.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. And he was for me as well, and he still is largely outside of NXT and some ROH stuff I saw. But
I mean,
he's
I
dude, he's
watched
fucking awesome.
TNA during his reign. Like that was what I watched in the early 2000s. I just have no fucking recollection of the dude.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, well, welcome
So,
to AEW, Smojo. If you're watching, and we know that you are,
hey, come on, man, I'll put you over. I'm just saying.
you will.
Anyways, so I'm gonna go through this super duper quick so we can get to WrestleMania. NXT Stand and Deliver. Why did I watch this? Because I found 2.5 hours before WrestleMania Night 2, and I thought I'll watch this. Um, Also, I wanted to see the Walter match, or as they call him now, Gunther. And I wanted to see Braun Breaker versus Dolph Ziggler. To be honest, that's why I watched it.
Braun Breaker,
Quite frankly,
Steiner kid, right?
yep. I did not have to watch this whole thing, nor do you. But these two matches
I'm
were pretty
going.
good. Uh, it was Cameron Grimes versus Santos Escobar versus Grayson Waller versus Solo Sikoa versus Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams. It was a
Fucking
ladder match for the North American Championship. It's as ridiculous as it sounds, but dude, there are some bumps in this, no joke, that really hurt me. Like it was, dude,
it's developmental,
dude.
guys. I mean, it's gonna happen, right?
I don't know if this Grayson Waller guy is gonna be able to use his arm ever again. It was bad. It
Holy
was
shit! Really?
he jumped off top rope and hit a ladder, and it didn't look good. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Like a ladder bridge, and he
yeah.
jumped off to hit a guy, and the
Interesting.
guy
I
wasn't
didn't
there
see it on the
anymore.
injury
And it's
report. Maybe
I don't know if he actually is injured, but man, he sold it
does it look
well.
bad?
Either
Nice.
way, though, it was okay. Like this was fine. Cameron Grimes ended up getting the title, and he's the new champ. The original, I don't quite frankly, I don't remember who. I think Carmelo Hayes was the champ. I don't even have those notes. So, anyways, the second match was Tony D'Angelo with AJ Galante, and this dude. Do you know who Tony D'Angelo is?
The only
Tony
person
D.
in NXT that I know
He
is
is
Dolph, and I don't know why he's there.
because they don't because he's too little. It's fucking annoying because he's incredible. But anyways, so Tony D'Angelo is a fucking like Goodfellas type gangster. No fucking joke.
Okay.
He uses words like paisan and uses all the fucking dumb lingo. It's fucking stupid. He's not a bad worker though, but it's fucking
Just a
stupid.
dumb gimmick.
It's super fucking stupid. So Tony D'Angelo versus Tommaso Ciampa, who is by far the best guy they have right now. They have to. Do you even know who Ciampa is?
Sounds like a
Dude,
video game character. He'd be
I
teaming with
am
Evil
going
Uno.
yeah, or on like Street Fighter or something.
Yeah.
Um I am going to, dude, watch the feud with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, or the Adam Cole Tommaso Ciampa. There's a big brawl that they have. Tommaso Ciampa's fucking awesome. This guy. I wish he would go to AEW so badly. Dude, he is fucking awesome. They'll never use him. He's too little. He's ripped. He's the most ripped guy I've ever seen, and he has this gnarly beard. He looks like he has this like homeless guy beard. He's fucking awesome. Just look him up. I can tell you are. He's fucking awesome. So, anyways, uh, I literally just put "get away from here" in my notes, which is like WWE, because I'm like, you're too good, and you're just gonna be in development forever. Like, go somewhere where you'll be used because he's incredible. So, anyways, way too much showboating from D'Angelo though, because he would put Ciampa down. He'd put Ciampa down, and then he'd just start like playing to the crowd. It's like, dude, you're here to fucking win. What are you doing? This is what I hate about WWE, and we're going to talk about this more as we go. The fucking showboating, the dramatics, the theatrics. I get that it's sports entertainment. This makes no fucking logistic or logical sense. Why wouldn't you win? What are we doing here? I get upset about it. I'm going to get way more upset as we go. So, anyways, Ciampa looks fucking great, though. But D'Angelo ends up beating Ciampa just due to cheating and shit. And he is the Don of NXT now. That's what the match was for. Stupid gimmick, but I wanted to see Ciampa wrestle. He's always great. The Creed brothers versus MSK versus Imperium. Imperium is Walter's or Gunther's faction. They're fucking great. The Creed brothers are fucking great. And MSK ends up pulling out the victory here. MSK, dude, so this was the first match I watched, and I put this is the best match so far for sure. Because it felt more like an AEW match. I hate to say it, but it's like it felt that way, and it was because like shit was happening, and there weren't like breaks every 5 seconds so they can rest, and they aren't like playing to the crowd like fucking idiots when it doesn't make sense. It's just boom, 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 boom. It was a tornado 3-way, and MSK left with the titles. Then it was a women's match for the women's title: Cora Jade versus Kaylee Ray versus Io Shirai versus Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose being the champ. Of course, Imperium was the tag champs that lost their titles there. Mandy Rose, however, retains her title. This match was largely a snooze, unfortunately. WWE has a great women's division. We'll talk more about that as we go because they had some of the best matches the weekend.
Yep.
But this match was not one of those. It's not bad. It's just kind of boring. There's not much going on. Then it's Gunther, a.k.a. Walter, versus LA Knight. Now,
Why do you
I've
keep
never
calling him
seen
that? Why do you keep saying Volter?
because that's how you pronounce it in German, and he's from Austria, so everyone calls him Walter. But it's his name. It's Walter. Like it looks like Walter if you look at it. But his
Or in
name's that's
America?
yeah. Jesus. But that was his name. Even in NXT, that was his name. In NXT UK, that is. I mean, and then he gets on normal NXT, and they change his name. So then his name's Gunther, and then everyone's still cheering Walter because they think it's fucking stupid. And they do the big Goldberg chant, Walter, Wal. You know what I mean? Now they were doing Gunther this time, but like, man, for a while everyone was like backlashing on that because they just want to own the gimmick, and I get it, but it's fucking annoying. God, I'm gonna get fired up about fucking WWE. So, anyways, LA Knight's really good, dude. Have you ever seen LA Knight?
Mhm.
I've
I do know
seen
who
him.
he
I've
is.
never seen him wrestle. Gunther wins, of course, because he's a badass. LA Knight was fucking good. I don't know why he's not on the main roster other than he's like not 6'8".
That's
Dude's
really probably the only reason.
dude's got a great look. He's a good talker. He's a great storyteller in the ring. I thought he was awesome. I was really honestly surprised. But Gunther won, solid match. The finish was very underwhelming. So that was kind of a recurring thing with some of the matches that I've talked about already. But you know what? Decent match. And then we get the Braun Breaker versus Dolph Ziggler for the NXT Championship. God damn, I love Dolph Ziggler. I always have. There's something about the way that he reminds me of people like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart's and things like that, and especially Shawn Michaels, in terms of like when he's tired, you believe it. Even
Yeah.
if he's not actually blown up. But he like, dude, there were covers where he literally just falls and his arms on him and he just looks dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's no cover here. It's fucking awesome. But then Braun Breaker, who's obviously new, looks fucking great.
Is
He's not there yet, but it's like, dude, he's getting there quick, man. He's only had like 28 matches or something. Like,
he's
he's
got
like
that
fucking
ring
Jade, but he's
pedigree.
better.
Got that ring pedigree.
Dude.
I mean, he's Rick Steiner's kid.
I know, but it's crazy because I just didn't know what to think about that, and they put on a great match.
I think his name
Ziggler
is dumb.
retains, though. So stupid.
Just let him
Dude,
be a Steiner. Let him
his
be a
name's
Steiner.
Or even Rex Steiner, which is their real name. Like at least let him use his name, like something. Come on.
Yep.
So anyways, Ziggler retains. Mid-match, he took the middle turnbuckle pad off. So in the end, of course, Breaker, had him dead to rights, but Ziggler reverses something and his finisher or whatever and throws him into the turnbuckle. Breaker somehow bends over and hits the second one, which cracks me up. But he hits the exposed turnbuckle, and then Breaker turns around to get he's dazed and he gets the super kick to the face. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler retains. Ziggler's fucking great. I sincerely love this guy, and they don't ever do anything with him. And it just bums me out. What a talent. He's
Been there
a
forever too.
billion times better than his brother in AEW. And it's just like, what in the fuck? Why are you there? I mean, he's probably making bank. Yeah, I was about to say, but anyway,
got
so
that
that's
bag.
the end of that pay-per-view. I just wanted to do that really quickly because there were a few things that were pretty good, actually. I was surprised, and I wanted there to be some good talking about WWE because I'm afraid I'm really going to try to reel it in for these WrestleManias because we still have 2 more pay-per-views to go. We're doing really good on time for as much as we've covered.
We are.
But I'm just saying, because I want this to be on the books, everybody. Charlie told me this is going to be a 7-hour podcast. I said, fuck you, no, it's not. And then he replied to me the exact same line. It will be a 7-hour podcast. And then I just got mad about it. So I'm proving you wrong.
That's fine.
And we've only been going for like 2.5 hours or something like that.
2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyways, WrestleMania night 1. So again, I'm going to overview most of these. Interrupt me if you want to say something, Charlie. I will stop at certain matches. I think you and I have kind of aligned with some of the matches.
Yeah, I guess for the sake of people, usually Austin and I don't talk to each other about wrestling. WrestleMania, since it's not a main thing that we do, we were actually conversing throughout it. So I will
like live texting me. And you know what was really annoying? I had one of our D&D friends, Dylan, over. And my fucking phone would go bzz, and it would like buzz whenever Charlie would text me. And I always fucking high spot was coming up because you were like 20 seconds ahead of me. So it buzzed. I'm like, well, something fucking cool's about to happen, or like something stupid or whatever. Then we're just like waiting for it. And luckily, night 2 was almost spot on. So I don't know what happened, but anyways,
the internet. But yeah, so I imagine we're gonna land on the same matches here. Because I mean, you know which ones I was in on. So
yeah, I'll give you a chance. The first 3 are definitely we're gonna buzz through here. Well, I do want to. I'll mention something on the third one, but yeah, I literally don't have notes for most of these, so
me neither. I wasn't taking notes.
So the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. You cannot say Boogs cool.
I love that dude though.
Actually pretty cool.
He is the coolest fucking dude. I love Rick Boogs.
No. Hold on. Let me tell you this. The second he started his fucking guitar, I didn't know who Rick Boogs was, but I knew that guy. I'd seen videos, but I didn't know that was Boogs. I'd heard journalists talk about him. I saw that video, and then when I see that fucker come out and he's playing guitar, and then you text me and you go, I love Rick Boogs. I fucking hated this guy. I wanted to fucking murder this guy.
What?
And then and then
How?
it's so annoying and cringy. And
Bro,
then
you're
and then
fucking
he
annoying
walks
and
out with
cringy. What are you
and then he walks
talking
out.
about?
What are you talking about?
Rick
He
Boogs
just
is
plays
the
a
fucking
stupid
man.
he plays a stupid guitar solo. Why would it be
You
cool?
play the fucking guitar.
I don't play solos that are stupid in front of 70,000 people and act like I'm cool.
You're a
So the
fucking
point
idiot.
is, so the point is Shinsuke comes out though and he starts playing the Shinsuke thing. That was cool.
I
And
mean, that
then
was pretty cool too. Yeah.
but when he gets in the ring, I'm all about this Boogs guy. Like
You should
he
be
sold
from
me.
the moment he shows up. You should be all
That's
about the
fucking
Boogs guy.
stupidest thing. Dude, that fucking Elias, whoever did the guitar gimmick, and it's fucking stupid.
You just hate fun.
Don't do that.
You hate fun.
You're you're so stupid. So anyways, let me tell you something else stupid. Shinsuke Nakamura should not be wasted. This is bullshit. Again, listen, I'm now a fan of Boogs. Dylan and I both were like, dude, fucking Boogs, Boogs. Like, there's no cool way to say this guy's name, but that's part of why he's like really awesome. So I like this guy. Everyone in this match is awesome. I think the Usos are great. I think Shinsuke's great. I love Shinsuke, but he's like neutered. He was fucking awesome in NXT, and he is not. I have not seen a good match. There might be one, everybody. I just haven't seen it. But I'm saying I have not seen a good Shinsuke match in the main roster, and it bums me out.
I watch a
Because in
decent. I think I
NXT
watch more WWE than you do, and he hasn't had a good match.
watch Samoa Joe versus fucking Shinsuke Nakamura in the cage in NXT Takeover. It's fucking awesome. There's a twofer right there. There you go. You can watch
Perfect.
that. Anyways, a very abrupt ending. The Usos won. It was super abrupt, very underwhelming. Even though all the talent in the world's there, so it's kind
Well,
of
they had to end the match, right? Due to Rick Boogs tearing his quad, is what
Yep,
occurred. Now
Well,
he's
so
out
that's
for
what
a year.
I know, dude. He tried to
Sucks.
pick up both the Usos at once, and he blew a quad.
That's a thing
Now
he
he's gonna be
does
out.
all the time. That's not a new move. Like
I
that's
know.
one of his things. And this time just wasn't the time, I guess, man. That sucks so hard.
Yep, and this is what took out Triple H for a year,
Yep.
and luckily he got back on it. Hopefully Boogs will come back, and I will take, no matter how painful, his solos just to see him back because I'm into the guy and I want him back. I want him to get healthy.
He'll be
But yeah, they
back.
had
I
to end
mean,
it. They
Vinnie
had
Mac,
to end it.
yeah, they did. And but again, he'll be back. You know, Vince McMahon blew out both of his just walking, and he wrestled at WrestleMania. So I mean, Rick Boogs, he'll be back.
Yeah, he's also the owner. But anyways, he knew whatever the fuck he wants.
It's true.
And we'll talk about that. But anyways, so the point is, hopefully Boogs is able to get back. This match ended way too abruptly, but it
Mhm.
makes sense, and I gave a lot of leeway there, right? Because I was not convinced it was real. Because you text me and you're like, "Well, that was real," and then you're like, "Wait, maybe it wasn't," and I thought it was a work. And then I saw videos of him getting like carried out, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then you're texting me like he's out for a year, and I'm like, "Fuck." So
It was a is it? I wasn't sure either, right? Because I've seen him do it so many times, and he pulls it off. So like, see, that's why I was confused. I was like, "What is going on here?" And I thought it was going to be part of it. And then when he didn't get back in the ring, I was like, "Oh, this is actually real."
yeah,
Because he's
it was
never
bad.
dropped these guys, like anybody that he's done it to. So
Yep.
it's just a really odd moment.
It's almost like that Lucha Bros Jurassic Express match where Ray hurts his arm and they just finished it because he
That too.
wasn't getting back in. So any spots, it's over.
A lot of injuries at
Um,
WrestleMania, actually, but we'll get there when we get
yeah.
there.
Yep. And you call them out because I might not know all of them. I was too busy watching wrestling. Um, I'm sorry. That's
Sports
stupid.
entertainment.
Anyways, yeah. So Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. Who fucking cares? Drew wins. Then he cuts the ropes, and he didn't get all three of them, though it clearly looked like he wanted to. But this was I literally in my notes just put boring, but McIntyre cuts the ropes with a sword. That's like
It's pretty cool.
it was. I mean, it's stupid, but it was cool. Like, yeah, it's just pointless because then you go to a video package and then they're just back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, okay, that was just a thing.
Well, they
And this
go.
goes back. This is what I was telling Dylan when we were watching it. Like WWE tries so hard to make WrestleMania moments now. Remember when people would just do them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Hogan just body slammed Andre the Giant, or like Shawn Michaels did some like fucking cool thing and it like became a moment, or Shane jumped off some stupidly high thing and that just was a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they just try to manufacture them now. and the commentary is so up Vince's ass, and they won't shut the fuck up. They're so obnoxious. But like they're sitting there talking the whole time, and they're trying so hard to make everything a moment.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh my God, this is their WrestleMania moment. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what a WrestleMania moment is till it's done.
I mean, that's clip culture though, and social media promoting that stuff. Because if you get that clip, you know, you got millions of views, blah 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 blah. I mean, that's what it is, and you see it in all sorts of sports. And wrestling's no different. Interesting.
It's not wrestling. It's fucking sports entertainment, and that's why it's fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Interesting thing about
see some good sports entertainment, but go ahead.
There is some. We were talking about time earlier. Drew McIntyre actually had a special entrance that got cut because of time. Got completely. Yeah. I'm curious what it could have possibly been. I mean, he just plays the Scottish badass kind of guy, right? Like what? I don't get what he would have came out doing. Probably a stupid car, but
bagpipes and like, you know, pulls the sword out of the stage.
He didn't have the sword.
Fireworks.
He didn't have the sword.
Well, he did at the end, but I'm saying like if it was.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, motherfucker, you're not listening. But you were right. You were right. So, anyways, then this match is like, who fucking cares? It's really boring. Corbin, same thing as fucking Tony D, the fucking guy from NXT. He won't shut the fuck up and stop playing to the crowd, and it bites him in the ass, and he loses. You are wrestling a fucking match. Why are you wasting our time with these fucking rest moments? Beat the fuck out of this guy. He's an ex-world champion. He's a badass. He carries a fucking sword, dude. Why aren't you killing this guy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I don't disagree, but that's just the WWE style, man. It's completely different.
It's fucking stupid. I'm not giving it a pass. That's so dumb because, dude, there are matches coming up that do the WWE style, and it's fucking awesome. This is fucking lazy work. Drew's on the ground because he just got a move on him, and Happy's like, I'm the fucking best. I'm happy. And he's like, fucking stupid. Pisses me off. Fuck Happy Corbin. Anyways, so the next match,
that was the first time anybody's ever kicked out of his finisher, so you get that out of it.
Yeah, and it wasn't played to at all. The commentary's like, no one's ever kicked out of that before. Give me a fucking break. Like, do we know how to tell a story in this fucking business? Give me a fucking break. So the next match is
they're hiring a narrative director. You should apply.
I fucking should. You know why? Because it'd be fucking good. It would probably be terrible. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I just know how to identify it. I'd probably ruin it just as bad. I don't know. Let's throw pies at each other. So the Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. Now let me say this real quick before I go into this. I thought this was going to be one of, if not the worst match on this card. Okay,
I think everybody expected that.
It was not the best.
It was
but
surprisingly
this is definitely
okay.
in the middle. It was. That is a beautiful way to put it, Charlie.
Surprisingly
it's one of the few compliments you're going to get from me tonight, I'm sure. Surprisingly okay. And I have to give it to Logan Paul, dude. Dude's done some work. He looked like a wrestler.
Protected his opponent.
Good.
Yep. That's what I'm always worried about with celebrities. Always what I'm worried about with celebrities. And his body slams look good. He was, landing properly, doing all the stuff. He's protecting the head. Yep. It was good.
He did the bulldog power slam, and he protected the head, like you're talking about. You even text me about it. It's the first thing I noticed. And the thing is, it made, full transparency, it made the move not look as good because he was trying too hard. But I would rather him protect him.
Yeah, then I don't give a fuck. Guy. Yep.
Because it still looked good.
Yep.
But yet you have to do it.
Celebrity is doing wrestling.
He's green, but he did great. So I'm surprised.
Still a douchebag.
The Mysterios,
I hate that dude, but
fuck Logan Paul. But the point is, he did all right in the ring.
Yeah.
And fuck the Miz too. He's terribly obnoxious.
I hate the Miz, and I always have. I fucking hate.
And it's not even that he's that bad on the mic. I've heard him do some like seemingly shoot promos, even though they're works. And I'm like, fuck, you can be good. You're just really obnoxious.
Oh, yeah, he's just almost MJF. And MJF is way younger and way better. He's very mid.
He's a mid MJF. So, anyways, the Mysterios also very lackluster. Though there was the whole Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero comparisons, because of course Dominic was wearing Eddie's outfit. But it was a fun match, mostly because you're seeing a celebrity do well. We're gonna see another celebrity do a billion times better, but we'll get there. So Then we go to Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. And we have another stupid car segment. Why is she driving a car out here?
That's
Fucking
really dumb.
Lamborghini or something.
Becky
Something's
Lynch
so
was
dumb.
so much fucking cooler when she had like the punk, like steampunk thing going on. This new Becky
I'll
Lynch
take it.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Interesting look. I'm not used to seeing her with like straightened,
I don't
close
like it.
hair. Because usually she has like the frilly, like she's like a frilly, like sassy lass. You know what I mean?
Well, her hair got
Like,
cut up in a match a couple weeks ago. It
yep,
was
yep.
really
I,
dumb.
I, I
Or
didn't know that.
Monday,
I didn't know.
Monday.
So that I guess that's fair storytelling wise, but it's just kind of like, come on. I don't know. Something seems off.
Just this whole
But dude,
new
this
Becky
match,
Lynch, I don't like. Don't like it.
yeah, I agree. I don't like it as much, but I'll tell you what, man, she's good at selling shit. She's good at telling a story. This is a fucking good match.
Also injured. Or
Really good storytelling.
EST got injured actually.
Who?
No, her opponent Bianca. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she an errant insecurity kicked her right in the fucking eye. Her eye is fucked up today. Like
Ooh.
closed shut.
Well, hopefully she gets better very, very soon because she's the champ.
She's the champ.
Because she beat Becky Lynch, who beat her not long ago in like 27 seconds or something, which pissed off the entire wrestling world. She needed to win it back this time. I think it was like SummerSlam or something. But it was months in the making. And, here she is. She wins. Becky sells frustration so well, I thought. When she tries to pin Bianca and Bianca doesn't stay down, and it's not the surprise, though. It's not that fake surprise. She was
It's
just
annoyed.
upset.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish people would do. It was perfect. This women's division makes AEW look like horse shit. It makes me real sad
They're
because they just
really
swallowed
fucking
up
good.
every good female wrestler. And I love that AEW is trying to make good female, like they're trying to give people opportunities to grow.
Yeah.
But man, we got to get some of these folks in because this was up to this point the best match on the show for me. Like I was just
agree.
like hands down, this was good. So anyways, good finish, good match. Then we have Seth Rollins versus the McMahon mystery opponent. And they busted a CM Punk return where it's the worst kept secret in the world. Everyone knew it was going to be Cody Rhodes, though some people thought it might be Shane McMahon. There was a little bit of a back and forth, but I was always on the Rhodes train. And it was
Clear.
indeed Cody. Seth Rollins walks out like a big idiot. Seth Rollins is better than this too. I don't know why. I mean, he was good in the ring here, but I'm saying like his entrance and shit. I
He
fucking
annoys
hate
me. He's
WWE.
great. He's a great wrestler, but man, he is fucking annoying as a like his
But he
whole
never
personality
used to
thing.
be.
I know he used to be good.
Like,
This whole Seth freaking Rollins thing, I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
What in the fuck is happening? Vince, I almost said something really terrible I'd regret. I don't want you to die. I just want this to get better. Okay? And you need to hire someone better.
Vince needs to sit back
Um,
and stop being the guy doing this.
Stop being the guy. It's very frustrating. Give someone else that extra 2% of the business so you don't have the majority anymore or something. So anyways, Cody Rhodes is the guy though, and Seth Rollins walks out like an idiot. He's in the ring. They're making him wait, and then all the lights go out, and then you just hear, "There's what is there's more than one royal family," or whatever his line is, and then his AEW music kicks on, which was very surprising. He must own that, of course.
Yeah, it's his. It's
And
his.
then
Everything is his.
he does the raised platform like he did at AEW. And I'm like, fuck, even though they filmed it stupid, but still, he did the thing. I'm like, holy shit, this is AEW Cody.
Yep.
Like to a T. Gear, everything.
He owns all of it. Like that brand, like the Cody verse is like a real thing. The brand, the music, the gear, like usually WWE is notorious for this. I don't know about AEW, but they own everything. Like The Undertaker, Mark Calloway owns nothing, right? That's all WWE's, his outfits, all that. With Cody, as folks are moving, and this is why the move for Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, is important. It's wrestlers having more control over their own outcomes, or not their outcome, match outcomes, but like their life, really. Cody Rhodes is setting an example that you can make this happen if you build your brand in this way. And hopefully, wrestlers will stop seeing Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan, blah, 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 blah. He's just himself and getting over this dumb gimmick bullshit. Not that gimmicks are dumb, but
I know. Did you want? Did I text you and tell you to watch the? I know I told you to. I don't remember which scrums I told you to watch, but have you seen the Cody Rhodes WrestleMania scrum?
Did well. I watched his inner like his he did a thing like right after his match.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that was
yeah,
like his little media scrum thing.
yeah.
Man, that was really great. I love the way he talked. I love he never buried AEW. He talked very happy. He used the word pro wrestler, which made me very interested. Like you just don't anything that has any kind of WWE brand, they don't do that anymore. But he talked about for anybody who didn't see it, he talked about like, yeah, they gave me an absurd amount of money, and I told them I'm going to do this my way, but I'm going to do you proud. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. And he talks about like he's like I can't wait for the first writer to walk up to me, and everyone, all the reporters laugh. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be like, yeah, sounds great, and then I'm going to go out there and do what I want because like this is how I think it should be, and they hired me to be me, and that I'm for the first time I'm gonna be me on this stage. Um, I'm fucking excited, dude. This is probably my favorite match for all. Well, as we go, I'll see if anything beats it in my mind now. This is probably my favorite match, and the thing is, Cody, the crowd blew the fuck up. He had the biggest pop until probably Stone Cold or something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, his pop was huge, and they put him over. Cody ends up obviously winning the match, and he wins just like he used to in AEW. He does the crossroads. He does a second crossroads. He does his dad's bionic elbow, basically, and then he does another crossroads and fucking puts Seth down. This storytelling was good. It wasn't the best storytelling of all WrestleMania. I'll talk about what I think that is later, but it was really good. Great match. None of that stupid fucking rest shit. None of that. They're just wrestling, Charlie. They're wrestling because they're both good at it. Okay? I'm fucking annoyed by this whole rest thing where you do a move and then you just like walk around, talk to the crowd, or like talk shit. Why aren't you beating the fuck out of them? Well, guess who beat the fuck out of them? Cody. That's what happened. Cody rules. I'm on the Cody train now. I don't give a and he's not an EVP and he's not head of the outreach shit. So I think he would be much quicker to go to like a heel now. Because before that was a big hang up for him where he's like, no, I have to deal with the public. I don't want to be an asshole. Like I don't want to be a heel. Dude, if he's a heel here, he is going to be more over than he's ever been in his life because everyone loved Cody the American Nightmare the heel. Everyone loved that guy on the indies. And then he went to AEW and he was an EVP and he was a babyface and he was like stuck. He didn't want to be a heel. I'm very curious to see what they do with him. What do you want to say? Sorry.
I could tell you what's going on Raw right now, if you'd like, with him.
I
And I
was
will
going to
tell you,
watch it after we were done, but go ahead. Yeah.
I
I want to hear it.
it
No.
definitely looks like you know, as we're recording the show, I'm often watching social media for anything that we can interject with. And
Sure.
this just came across my feed coincidentally that as we were talking about Cody Rhodes. Apparently, him and Seth Rollins are doing an in-ring segment currently, and apparently they embrace or shake hands or something at the end of it. So I'm curious to see where that goes now.
I hope they're not. I would be happy to see it continue because, quite frankly, I've seen a lot of Seth Rollins matches that have the same problem as some we're going to talk about, and same problem as the Happy Corbin shit, where it just gets fucking neutered and it's boring. And it's not that I want people to kill themselves; these guys are going to last forever because they're taking half the bumps every fucking other person does, and all the matches end up being are like finishers on one another and people kicking out, and another finisher and kicking out. You don't have to do that much to do this WWE shit anymore.
Yep.
And so they're gonna live forever, and it's like that's cool. I don't want you to have to stop when you're 45. Like I get, like I want the longevity, but dude, I don't think that much happened with Cody in this match that would put like lower your life expectancy, and it
No, it
was a
was just
billion times better.
good wrestling. It was just good wrestling.
And
So
my fun dig at WWE is it took an AEW guy to come in and have a good match. I need to get that in, even though I'm
Stardust.
just joking. Yeah, and he did that Stardust cartwheel, which
He
is
did.
funny.
It was really funny.
I had a good laugh there. So, anyways, I can't put that match over enough. I had a great time with it. I was, dude.
It was
But
very good.
here's the thing: I was so happy for Cody. Like that was part of my joy. I actually felt it's like, dude, you got your bag. Take that money. Take care of your kid. Like, save that shit so you don't have to end up like broken. And just put on fucking great matches. What is the worst that's going to happen? They let you go?
Yeah.
What can they do to you? Tony will probably take him back, and even if he didn't, dude, there's go to New Japan. Like what? Like, I mean, I know he has a kid. I'm sure he doesn't want to do that, but it's like he has all these other deals. He's working on another pilot for another TV show. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Like I
He's
said, he
gonna have
built his
work.
brand, man. He built his brand. He
Yep,
could do anything he wants.
anything he wants, and he's in good shape. So super proud, Cody. I know you're watching, boy. So like, come hang out. Anyways, I'm so fucking stoked about Cody being in WWE. It's the first time you'll ever hear me say that. Uh, so I'm hyped. The next match was Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. And we were texting and we were on a little different page here. Because you thought it was like really clunky. I thought this was good. My first note was good match! Exclamation point. I thought Charlotte Flair is obviously better. Like that's in my notes. Like Charlotte Flair is better. I thought Ronda did really well though. Yes, definitely toward the end clunky. Like she started getting really clunky. But there's something about Ronda for me that she has an energy that no one else on that roster has, and that's something that's going to put her over. Because when she starts firing fists or like puts somebody in that armbar, you see that MMA like UFC person come out, and it's believable to me. Now, all the other sides of wrestling, she might not be great.
He's really bad on the
Excuse me.
mic.
She might not. Yeah, she's not great. She's not great on the mic, definitely. But I didn't mind. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like you separate the real person from the thing too, because sometimes she can be an asshole. And sometimes I see her and she's real cool. I don't know who she is. I don't know her. All I know is on screen, I was fine with this. It's just Charlotte Flair's a better worker times a million, and she
Charlotte Flair is
won.
very good.
So
I don't
yeah,
honestly. I don't remember this match. I know what happens, but I don't remember why I thought it was clunky. And I wasn't taking notes, so I'm sure I
yeah,
believed it. And I probably would stand by it if I watched it again. I just
yeah,
don't really have much to say because I don't remember.
yeah, yeah. Just little things at the end.
That was probably it.
Uh, but but it's dude. And when I say little things, I mean they're noticeable. Like you noticed them when you watched
I
it.
mean, clearly, yeah.
Um,
If I said
but
something,
yeah, the thing is, Ronda Rousey was actually really pissed. Do you want to know why? Prior to the event, you want to know why she was pissed, Charlie?
if you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna debunk it immediately.
Tell me what you think I'm gonna say.
No, go ahead.
Well, now I don't want to because now you're gonna debunk it and make me look like an idiot.
You can say
Ronda
the main
Rousey was
event thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
How
not
is that
true.
debunked?
I mean, she came out and said that's not what happened. She has a kid that she had to go take care of, so she left.
Yeah, right. That's just what she's saying to save face. You're wrong. I'm gonna go with the drama for your mama.
So fucking,
Anyways,
you're such a
I'm
mark.
I actually don't give a fuck what happens because Charlotte Flair won, so I don't care. Who's gonna take that belt off her though? That's what I want to know. We'll see who comes up next.
Nobody ever.
Um,
Sasha Banks.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, Sasha Banks just won a title though,
I
but I
fucking love
just got
Sasha
ahead of
Banks.
herself.
She's so goddamn. But we'll
She's
get there.
great. Yeah. So the final segment, the very main event, Kevin Owens has his KO show, and he has Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, if everybody remembers, if any of you follow the dirt sheets at all, you know that at one point they talked about hiring Stone Cold, giving him an absurd amount of money to have one last wrestling match. And then that changed to being a kind of talk show segment with Kevin Owens. And everyone, all the dirt sheets even started turning toward that because that's what they were hearing out of WWE. And we got both. Um, Kevin Owens comes out, and I fucking love Kevin Owens so much. I am still
Kyle Owens.
disappointed that he's yeah, Kyle. I'm still disappointed he re-signed with WWE. However, get your bag, dude. I get it. Like
Yeah.
I'm on your side. But anyways, dude, this is a lot of fun. He starts off with a talk show segment. Stone Cold's out there being Stone Cold, dropping some promos on him. Sounds great. He looks great. I was surprised how good he actually really looked. Um, and then at one point, they're just talking shit. Kevin Owens is basically like, I'm French Canadian. I'm better. You should be more like me. Texans are stupid. And then Stone Cold's like, you're just a dumb son of a bitch. And then, they're just like arguing. And then eventually Kevin Owens is like, yo, I lied. Like, I didn't bring you out here just to talk, actually. I brought you out here to fight. And Stone Cold's like, listen, I started my career here and where were they, Dallas? And
Yep. That was.
I could end my career here with a final match, but I don't know. And then Kevin Owens is like, I see you're scared of me. You can't beat me and you know it. And then he goes, bring me a god ref. and he cut out the goddamn. He cut out the damn, and I cracked up because it's so obvious, and it made me. It was so awkward and weird. Um, but he says, "Bring me out a goddamn ref," and that ref runs his ass down that long, mile-long fucking ramp.
50 yards,
Jumps
yeah.
in there, and they're throwing the chairs that they had in there out the ring, and it's gonna be this no holds barred match. Which when I said it was gonna be a no holds barred like anything goes, the guy that's watching with me, Dylan, was like, "Dude, he's like, is he gonna live?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. This is the best because there are no rules. He doesn't have to take bumps.
Yep.
He can get hit with things that won't hurt him, and he can hit him with things that won't hurt. You know, like you can do anything at that point. You don't have to do the things that would actually potentially permanently hurt Stone Cold." This match was fucking awesome. And for the same reason the Cody match was even better, because I was so happy for Cody to have this thing. You know what I mean? That he'd worked so hard and he stopped getting over at AEW. And in that scrum, he talked about it was just time to go. It wasn't about money, it wasn't about creative. I just felt like it was time to go. And I think it was probably that he just was starting to lose the fans. It's like, all right, cool.
Well, he's
I'll
just
get my
saying that
bag
to
then.
save face.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably. Save your fucking face. So, anyways, yeah, Stone Cold, same thing. I'm so fucking elated watching this match. I'm just watching Stone Cold kick the fucking shit out of Kevin Owens, and I'm like, that's all it's gonna be. He's gonna
Yeah.
do some mediocre mud hole stomping in the corners. And he's gonna hit him with some shit, maybe put him through a table, stun him, pin him, and be over, right? Because this is a legit match, everybody. Official match. Bell rings. There's a ref. This is Stone Cold's final match that he never had 19 years ago. Okay. I mean, he had a final match, but I
Well,
mean,
he
no
took
one knew
3
it was his
rock
final match.
bottoms, and that was the end of it.
Well, yeah, but no one knew he was quitting.
Right,
So it
right.
was like, it wasn't like a finish, like a final thing. This was his closure. And he's beating the shit out of Kevin Owens, and they go over the rail, and they're out in the audience. And I'll be damned if Kevin Owens doesn't suplex that motherfucker on the concrete.
I was shocked. I
And
did not expect that to happen. I mean, let's be
I
fair. It
went
was a weak suplex. Let's be honest here. It was
like,
a kind of a snap suplex.
it was
but
a
I hope not.
slow snap.
Yeah.
But I did that move I just did though when I saw it because I was like, he's dead.
Yeah,
Like
he's fucking
Stone Cold,
old and he has bad back
he's
and
like
neck.
57.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He almost was paralyzed. Like,
Yep.
what in the fuck? And then this match is fucking on. And they're
And
beating the shit out of each other. He's drinking beer the whole time. Only like 10% of it's going in his mouth, but who the fuck
always the
cares?
case. Yeah.
It was like surprisingly worse. I feel like this time there was a point where he had two like this, and it just
Yeah.
shot past his face. We were cracking up.
It
We
was
thought that
his
was so
beer
funny.
too. It was the Broken Skull American
Yep.
Lager.
And they were putting it over with the camera too.
Oh yeah.
Right in
Yeah.
the fucking way.
There's a
They
couple
worked their way up
cinematic
the ramp.
shots.
Yep. Stone Cold suplexing Kevin Owens on the stage. And that shit's hard. There's no padding. And Stone Cold's hitting the ground too, everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn, he does two big suplexes on there. They're beating the shit out of each other. Of course, Stone Cold eventually gives the stunner to Kevin Owens and pins him. Dude, this match was fucking
Dude.
nostalgia at its best.
I loved every second
Super
of it.
fun. And I was so happy for Stone Cold.
Yeah, man, he got his moment. 19 years later, he got his fucking moment, dude, and it couldn't have been better. Kevin Owens was the guy to do that for him.
Oh, yeah.
It happened so well, so well.
And he's been gone for so long. A generation has passed. I don't think anyone else in Kevin Owens' generation has ever wrestled Stone Cold. I don't think there's,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no,
So
for
he's
sure.
the one guy.
Yeah,
Like,
no
no
one
one else in this generation could say that. Yeah.
That's literally part of his legacy.
Retire.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do?
yeah.
Might as
How
well
do you
go to
top that?
AEW now. What do you do?
Yeah, please, actually,
Um,
go make a legacy in AEW. Kyle Owens.
Yeah. Kyle Owens. Although they might change his name. Maybe that's his real name.
Maybe
No,
it'll
he'd
be
Kevin
Kyle
Steen
Owens.
for sure.
No, Kevin Steen.
His name's Kevin Steen, but yeah. But dude, Stone Cold, dude, I know you're watching, man. Come on the show. I want to talk about this shit. I'll drink your beer too. All right. We'll put over your beer like we like to put over like you like to put over kingscoastcoffee.com/LWIW pod. Definitely drink their coffee. It's really great. I don't know. I just wanted to do that. WrestleMania night 2, though. WrestleMania night 1 was fun.
What's
All
good?
right. Because some of the matches pissed me off, but it wasn't as bad as I thought ever.
It was
None
the
of them are
best
as bad as
WrestleMania in a
any.
while.
Yeah, none of the matches in night 1 were as bad as any of Goldberg's matches in WWE, any
Oh
of them.
my god,
So, like,
Goldberg
we
sucks.
are already, like, moving up, right? And I was a Goldberg mark as a kid, like every kid
I
my
mean, how
age.
could you not have
But,
been?
like, yeah, but, like, fuck that guy, right? So, we get to night 2, and it opens up with a Triple H segment where he introduces WrestleMania. I'm skipping all of the, dumb pageantry shit where they're doing national anthems and fuck all. So Triple H comes up,
You hate
and
America?
dude, yeah, dude. So, yeah, I'm trying not to be really controversial just for fun, but, anyways, so Triple H segment, he introduces WrestleMania, and then he leaves his fucking boots in the ring. Now, I knew he was retiring. I knew after he had his heart like, the heart issue that he
It was
had.
all. I
I
mean, he
knew
said it on social media.
Yeah, he
Like,
said it. Yeah, yeah. But it was again, dude, same fucking thing with Cody and Stone Cold. I watched Triple H do this, and my heart is filled with overwhelming joy. This night, I'm watching it with a different D&D friend of ours, Bryce. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm just like, no, this is really cool. And he's just like, okay. And I'm like, no, this is fucking cool. Like, I'm trying to like get it, like make the point, but if you don't watch or you don't know who he is, it's like, okay. But anyways, he leaves his boots in the ring. It's a farewell to the game. And I always liked him bell to bell. Like I always thought he's a really good worker, but he just annoyed me as a character a lot of times. But man, I've never been so happy to see him. I was just like so happy for him. And he got the fuck out of there quick. He did not want the
oh yeah,
limelight, it
he was fucking.
seemed.
I mean, his entrance took fucking forever. Like, I think uh Motorhead played like fucking 6 times, which is fine. I
Yeah.
get it, and it was a good moment. You know, Triple H is an interesting character with a really interesting history in wrestling, and particularly his rise to what he is in the
Yeah.
WWE. I have mixed feelings about the dude, but as a wrestler and worker, I enjoy him.
Yeah, same.
I think he,
Exactly.
as a
Yeah.
human, is probably less than stellar in some ways. But like we said
Probably.
earlier, that's fucking wrestling.
Yeah. It's time to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
Anyway,
Lemmy.
so yeah, Lemmy, yeah. Next matches are well, the first match of the night actually is RK Bro versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Now I am a like Chad Gable and Otis, I love, but I
Those are
only ever
awesome.
saw them in
Fucking
NXT.
love Otis.
I only ever saw them in NXT. And these fuckers come out, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Because Chad Gable's like, "Chee!" and he's like doing this stupid shit. I'm like, you're embarrassing me. Like, I was just, because I told Bryce, I was like, dude, these dudes are awesome. Like, watch these guys. What the like? He's cracking up because they're like they're embarrassing him, and I'm like, what is happening? So, anyways, RK Bro, of course, takes the win. They get their titles back. I felt like there was no chance. Maybe Alpha Academy, but I just felt like RK Bro's keeping it. I will say though, dude, Alpha Academy is just so great. Like
Uh,
in the bell to bell, kind of in the ring. I
they're good.
love them.
I love them too. I think Otis is awesome. I think they work well together. To be fair, RK Bro, I mean, it's Randy fucking Orton, and Matt Riddle is good in his own right. However, Randy Orton's fucking mustache is the most annoying thing on the planet. I can't even look at the dude. He looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
here's the
he
thing
just
though.
looks like an asshole.
Here's the thing. A big old hairy asshole. So here's the thing. Matt Riddle and Randy Orton are better on their own. And this is again the problem. This is the reason why like FTR left. They asked for their release and eventually got it. This is why a lot of tag teams won't go to WWE, like the Young Bucks and different people. They had their opportunities, they just would not go because WWE doesn't give a fuck about tag team wrestling, okay? And their tag team matches were not that bad on on these shows. Like they were good, but there's no focus. They don't give a fuck, and the people they give the titles are the two singles guys that they just put together because they thought it was funny.
What's
Like,
interesting is Randy Orton did an interview a couple days before WrestleMania. He flat out said, he was like, I don't particularly like tag wrestling. Like, I prefer
yeah,
singles wrestling.
and they
And
don't.
he
The
doesn't
only
even like Matt Riddle. Like, he didn't say that. He was pretty diplomatic about it. He was like, yeah, it took me a long time to warm up to Matt Riddle. Like, it's
yeah,
like, what are we doing here?
but the thing is this though. The only tandem thing they do is Matt Riddle does the RKO. Do you know what I'm saying?
Tell you
Like
what,
they
Randy Orton's
like,
RKO in that match was fucking huge. He fucking
dude,
drilled the dude. Fucking
but like
nuts.
legit, it was pretty though. Like they
It
did
was
it
fucking good.
perfect.
Fucking, it was good.
But it was sincerely, it was good. I just don't. It's just like that's not tag team wrestling. It's two singles guy wrestling.
Yeah, that match
What
didn't do
any
anything for me.
AEW weekly show, any of the tag team matches on Dynamite or Rampage are better than any tag match
Oh, yeah,
on these shows.
100%.
And I know that's like a duh statement. Everybody knows like AEW really values tag team wrestling. That's largely because the Young Bucks are fucking EVPs. I get it. But the thing is, like, tag team wrestling used to be fucking awesome, and then it turned into this thing where, well, we can get people over, and then to put them on TV, we'll put them together or something. I don't know, but it's fucking frustrating. Anyways, we get to Omos versus Bobby Lashley. I didn't know what to feel about this because Omos is a fucking geek, and I don't know why he's on there other than
Because he's
he's
seven
7 foot
four.
tall and he's a
Yeah,
monster.
7'4", 400
Um,
pounds, and he's an athletic freak, to be honest with you. But it doesn't show when he wrestles, which blows my
right?
mind.
And
'Cause, I
his
mean, he's
faces
a
embarrass me.
the only reason he's going to be a champion in WWE, and that bothers me.
Of course.
Just because he's big. He's boring to watch. I thought the ring was gonna fall apart when he got whipped into the rope. It reminded me of when Andre the Giant would take fucking, an Irish whip, and like the whole ring would shift under his weight.
Yeah.
I just don't. He's just not a good wrestler. He's not
He's
interesting. He's not good on the mic. He's just big, and it's
he's big.
so stereotypical WWE.
It's
Vince
like when
loves
the
huge
giant
guys.
you know the Giant Gonzalez or
His
whatever?
stupid Yeti outfit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or it was or the Indian dude, I forget his name.
He's still there.
He is?
I believe so. Yeah, he was in the. You know
Holy
what? No,
shit.
we're thinking of two different guys. There is a guy. I know what you're talking about. There's a guy similar who was on SmackDown in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale the night before. Looks
Gotcha.
almost identical to. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
I don't know. All I know is this Omos guy.
Sucks.
And they fucking tagged AJ with him. What a waste of talent.
AJ Styles is so good.
We're gonna talk about that
Too
soon.
bad he
Anyway,
can't
I don't want
dodge.
to. I, wa- I
Injured.
I want to skip this Omos match because all we need to know is Lashley won.
What do you think about Bobby Lashley? Out of curiosity.
So Lashley was in WWE in like 2002 or like the early to mid 2000s. I think he left to like go to the military or something. I can't remember.
UFC.
I know he did that, but he's also in the military at some
He
point.
was
I
in
think
the military before he went to wrestling. I believe
that's what it
he
was.
was a
Okay,
he was
okay.
a sergeant in the army.
Yeah,
I think it was.
and he looks like it. So, anyways,
He does.
but anyways, I did not like him in 2002. I mean, I didn't like hate his matches. It was just he did not have the charisma he needed. He
Still
has it
doesn't.
much more. Well, I think he has much more now.
I mean, fair.
But
Comparatively, sure.
comparatively, I mean, yeah. But anyways, like he was just like he was like the guy that Vince was trying to push that no one wanted.
Because he was
You know what I
big.
mean?
What?
And because he was the perfect body. And that's what Vince, and he's a black guy. I hate to say it, but Vince is that shallow. He wants a person from every country of every color
Hmm?
so that he can win that audience. He's outspoken about these things in the past. Like this
Yeah.
is what he
It's not
does.
secret.
That's why I'll get like Jinder Mahal. It's like this is going to be my Indian community guy. You know what I mean? Like, um. So, anyways, yeah,
Ah,
Bobby Lashley is one of those dudes. Like his body slam or whatever on Omos looked really good.
He's a
Like
strong
he does
dude.
the work.
Like,
He does the work, but yeah, he's just not that interesting to me. He's just a
I don't
big
think he's
fucker
very
that can throw
interesting.
people around.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I was never big into Bobby Lashley either, and I think distinctly I know why. Because he, after WWE bought ECW, he was the first ECW champion, and that was like the moment ECW was no longer ECW, and it was just
Yep.
like, I fucking hate this dude because he was the guy. He was the fucking guy, and
What a terrible ECW champion.
it
too.
doesn't
You know
even
what I'm
make
saying?
sense. He's like such a cookie cutter normal wrestler. He does not fit
Yeah.
the ECW brand.
I mean,
but nobody
CM
did because they gutted the
No.
roster and fucking ruined
Yeah.
ECW.
But you have to admit though, CM Punk is a billion times better fit than Bobby Lashley
No,
comparatively.
100%.
Can we at least
Yeah.
say that?
Yes, 100%.
So, anyways, the point is, this match was what
Stupid.
the fuck ever.
Cares.
Yeah.
I think I
so
got up and like that's when I took my piss break and all that, and I just was like,
yeah, and then it fucking pales in comparison to the follow up. because we have Sami Zayn versus fucking jackasses Johnny Knoxville and company. I
Yeah,
actually put because we eventually get more people.
Pontius and E-Man.
And I'm just gonna give away the finish first, and we're just gonna talk about this because Knoxville fucking wins, and I was fucking stoked,
Dude,
dude. I'm just gonna make this statement, then we can talk about it. This is, I think, probably the best celebrity match I've ever seen.
agreed, 100%.
Sami Zayn is the fucking greatest. They're playing him like a geek on weekly television, which pisses me off because he's better than that. He's another one of those dudes like fucking Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, who is incredibly talented. He showed it off in NXT. He was amazing. And then now he's like a fucking geek, even though I still love him. But when you watch those fucking video packages before the match, it embarrasses me. Why is he doing this shit? WWE fucking ruins people like him. That's why you should go to AEW. So, anyways, they already have a bloated roster as it is, but Ring of Honor though. um. So, anyways, Sami Zayn comes out and he's ready to beat the fuck out of Johnny Knoxville. I gotta say this: whenever he hits Knoxville or any of the guys from Jackass, he fucking lays it in. He
These guys are
punts,
professional stuntmen.
he punts Wee Man in the face at one
Oh
point
my
so
god.
hard, and that motherfucker's dead. So goodbye, Wee Man. We love you. But dude, this match was so fun. There are so many spots here
So
where
fun.
you have a table with
Mouse
mouse
traps.
traps. You have this giant fucking hand. Where did this come from?
That's my favorite
I didn't even
fucking
see
part.
it show up.
If you know anything about Jackass, that's a classic bit that they do. And like it came out in like it's usually behind like a wall or door and somebody like walks into it or walks through the doorway and gets slapped. This just came out of nowhere in the middle of the fucking
It's like a fucking Looney Tunes, man.
It was
And
fucking
like
hysterical.
the camera is on Knoxville, and then it cuts really quickly to Sami Zayn, and the hand just hits him out
Crushes
of
them.
fucking nowhere.
Amazing.
Someone put it there, right?
It had, yeah, of
And
course.
so,
And there was
anyways, you have
Jackass guys in the crowd, so it makes me wonder. And we didn't see enough of it, but I'm wondering if they were the guys like they had it in for
yeah.
something like.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because the
All
new
kinds of
Jackass
gimmicks
guys,
in this match.
the
A lot of
giant
Jackass
mousetrap
gimmicks,
was
though.
fucking hysterical, and
Yep.
especially because it didn't work at first. And Johnny Knoxville was like, "No, we're fucking doing this," and he
Yep.
reaches over and he fucking makes it work. I was like, "This
But
is
then he gets
fucking."
hit in his own head
He does. He
whenever
doesn't care.
which is so funny. So, and then, yeah, but like Pawnee Boy's there, and he's
Pontius,
like,
yeah,
it's
Pawnee
naked.
Boy.
Yeah, Pontius, he rips off all of his clothes, and he's dancing up against Sami Zayn in the corner, which is super funny.
I am shocked WWE let him do that.
I kind of agree, but how come?
I mean, from what I've heard, even that stuff's so choreographed. Like, and Friday night, there's like when Austin, I didn't plan on talking about this. When Austin was practicing, like his rehearsing to do his stuff, like he was getting coached like on what he couldn't say, hence the goddamn thing. He got taken down. This is Austin's thing. He got told multiple times he can't flip off the crowd and things like that. So the fact that Chris Pontius can show up and do what the party boy just seems against WWE branding. But I guess it's the Jackass guys. So, I mean, that's what they do.
And you got to think about, but you also got to think about this too. He was wearing as much as half the wrestlers do. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it was a denim thong. I guess, like,
Dude, I was watching it with Bryce, and he was losing his fucking
was
mind,
hysterical.
laughing so hard.
fucking, and
Because there's a point where Pontius goes under the ropes or under the thing, the ring, and then I almost said Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn jumps down, and he pulls up the curtain, and it's fucking Wee Man, and I called it. And Wee Man comes out, and Wee Man is no joke. Like
About
he
that
starts
fucking-
fucking him up.
dude, that body slam, he held him up. It wasn't just a quick
Dude.
slam. He held him.
Wee Man
might be
is
the strongest man pound for pound.
yeah. Wee Man runs out and he's just beating the fucking out of Sami Zayn. Gets him in the ring. He gets in the ring and he fucking body slams this dude. Legit body slam. Not a phony looking one. This looked as good as anyone else can body slam. That was fucking great. We
was
lost
awesome.
our minds. But yeah, they bring a giant so they have a football kicker machine
Oh, yeah,
that they use to kick each other in the balls. And this is like played out because they're trying to kick Sami Zayn in the balls. But then he punts Wee Man across the ring. But then eventually Knoxville punts him in the balls. Sami Zayn gets kicked in the balls. And then he's in the corner at one point, and Knoxville pulls out a bowling ball, and then he rolls it across the ring and he like bowls his nuts, right? And he just keeps hitting him in the nuts, and it's funny. But then, like, dude, the giant mousetrap gimmick, as soon as I saw that, I go, oh, that's how he's gonna win. And Bryce is like, nuh-uh. Like, what? He
That's the
didn't say
only way he
nuh-uh. But I
beat
mean,
Sami
he was
Zayn.
just like, he's like, what, really? And you have to understand, Bryce hasn't watched wrestling since like 1997 or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's been so long. So he's just like, there's no way. And dude, that's what he fucking does. The mousetrap captures Sami Zayn. He gets on top of him. 1, 2, 3.
So
He
fun.
can't move. He's there the rest of the time. This is definitely easily top 3 best matches. And
It
it's not
was
even a good
so funny.
match. It's sports entertainment. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you said. You were like, this is sports entertainment at its
Yeah,
best. I
100%.
100% agree with you. I still demand wrestling from wrestlers, and that's what they are. But for this shit, you cannot do this better.
No, if they would have put Johnny Knoxville in there to actually try and wrestle, it would have looked like what happened with David Arquette back in the day, right? Granted, there's not a championship on the line, but Johnny Knoxville is not a professional wrestler. He doesn't claim to be. He's not trying to get into wrestling. They came out and did jackass shit in WWE. That was awesome. As a fan of
Sports
Jackass,
entertainment.
for my entire life, I grew up watching that shit, right? Like, it was awesome to see. It was awesome to see.
It's the greatest.
It was so good.
So I love you, Sami Zayn. I know you're watching. You should come on.
Dude,
The
fuck
next
that
match
Johnny
I'm gonna,
Knoxville. Get Johnny Knoxville in here.
dude, Knox. Come on, buddy. Naomi Watts. What? Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Rhea Ripley and Liv
What?
Morgan versus Shayna Baszler and Natalia versus Carmella and Queen Zelina. Sasha Banks and Naomi win. It was a good match. I actually thought this was pretty good. It's not the best women's match, but it was good. It was better than most, like 95% of AEW matches.
Sasha Banks is awesome.
Not all matches, women's matches. I mean,
Sasha Banks is awesome. That's all I'll say. I think she's
the
an
best.
amazing, amazing women's wrestler. Probably
She's great.
easily as good as Charlotte Flair, if not better.
Dude, her, Charlotte, Bailey, and who's the other? Oh, and the one that wrestled earlier with the red hair that got her haircut.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, thank you. Those 4.
Amazing.
I think they were actually the 4 horsewomen actually at one point. But my point is, they deserve it because they're just the best. I mean, and Bianca Belair's getting there. Like, she's really good. But like, dude, those 4, they're like legit wrestlers. And
Fucking
I've seen
amazing.
4-ways in NXT. I've seen 4-ways with them, and they beat the fuck out of each other. Holy shit.
Really good. I will say Carmella annoys me, and Corey Graves is the worst. And I'll leave that there. I fucking hate. So I guess I didn't leave it there.
Well, there you go. There you go. Now we learned something new.
Fuck you, Corey Graves. But you can come on the show.
He'll talk shit about you. I won't. I'll put you over.
I'll talk shit right here in that third square.
Next match is my other contender for top 3 matches of the weekend, of the WrestleMania. AJ Styles versus Edge. And I want to start off by saying Edge's entrance is such an obvious throwback to the Brood or like
100%.
old Undertaker vibes. Like, dude, it like he's fucking a throne of sins, and there's just fucking fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome.
It was good.
But dude, they wrestle, and this was hands down any WWE show I watched last weekend. This was the best storytelling. Period.
I mean,
This
look who's in the fucking ring.
greatest.
Look who's in the ring. Like,
Dude,
we were blessed with that
2
match
fucking
in some
best.
ways.
Yes.
Like,
This
that-
was the best, definitely the best wrestling match. Like, of course, I'm partial to that Cody because it was like so over. It's like watching The Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 20 or whatever. And like, it's like that match is not that good, or maybe it's 18. I can't remember. But the point is, it's not that it's that good, but the crowd is so fucking out of their mind. And there's both of those guys are such good performers.
Yeah.
That match fucking rules, dude.
I mean,
You know what I'm
AJ Styles for, as long as I remember like learning about him with TNA, right? He's always been considered just a phenomenal technical wrestler.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
same thing with Edge. Edge is renowned for his storytelling in the ring, and he always has been. That's just what he's respected for, in the back, from what I understand. So you put those two together, you get what we got. And like I said, we were blessed to get that match. That was fucking good. And I will say, injury alert. AJ Styles busted his face on the backstage at the gorilla position. Because
That's why he was bleeding?
yeah, so the early reports, especially from like Meltzer or whatever the fuck, he said that the pyro got him. No, the backstage when they leave the gorilla position, like it's tilted down like this, right? X
Yeah.
and or V rather, and he busted his face on it, and that's what happened. He cracked his face open, and then well, I guess there was only 2 matches after that. They're talking about it on Pat McAfee today, which is why I know this. And I guess they had to go around just warning everybody now. It's like it's the second to last match. And they're just telling everybody, watch your head, just repeatedly, people at the gorilla position because of that. And I will say,
Yeah, because
and I didn't think about it, again, I'm not going to take credit. This is not an original thought. I think AJ Hawk on the Pat Mac show said, you would not know that he just literally cracked his fucking face on this thing. He played it off perfectly and just kept in character and kept doing the
it
thing.
looked like he had a fucking scab that he picked off.
Yeah, dude, he did not give a
Because he looks
fuck.
fine. No.
Yeah.
Dude,
Everybody
AJ
was
Styles
saying like
walked
it
out and he's
hurt.
just bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess he cracked
And
his face and he like stopped for a minute and they had to like do stuff and then but yeah, it was not the pyro.
man. Yeah, fuck you, Meltzer. But since you're watching, you can come
Yeah.
hang out. No, AJ dude, they're great. And when I made the reference with the Rock and Hogan, I was referencing more of like the Cody match where like that was just so over and so big. Granted, it was just like good wrestling too. This is fucking wrestling, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? These guys did the rest bits. There's a point where Edge just puts his arms out and AJ's just on the fucking ground and he's just like taking it in. But guess what? That rest, there's real storytelling in that. There are things happening. There's like subtext happening. This is how you fucking do it. We're going to see how you do it real wrong here in a minute. But AJ Styles and Edge, dude, that's how you do WWE style. That's how you let things rest. That's how you take your time. That's how you pace it. And no one fucking does this. And it takes two dudes that are from a past generation. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean they're
AJ's,
old guys at this point.
yeah,
I mean Edge especially, but AJ too. He's been around
yeah.
in WWE for probably close to 15, 20 years. No, 2005 he was still in TNA. So yeah, I mean probably WWE for
He was in TNA for a while, yeah. But the thing is, though, Edge is like 48, and according to his face, looks like he's going on 60, but it's
yeah,
fine.
he did not age well.
But but I love Edge, and funny enough, I was never a huge Edge guy back in the day.
I
But
like the
I did like
Brood,
his
but
matches. I did like his matches, like when he was a Rated R Superstar. Like when he was in a match, I was into it. I just didn't care for his gimmick. But
did you
man,
like the
since
whole
he's
Lita
come back,
thing? Banging
where
in
they
the
were gonna
middle of the
fucking
ring.
yeah,
Really cool, huh?
that's really really cool. Um, but anyways, but dude, uh, Edge in this match, man. Both these guys, holy shit!
Killed it.
You have some veterans that know what the fuck they're doing. I'm done putting them over now. Next match is kind of a. I feel
Celebrity
so
match.
upset. No, this is the New Day and Sheamus. What are you
Oh,
talking about?
yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm getting ahead of
Here's the
myself.
thing. No, here's the thing though. New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. But their little pit bull basically is Pete Dunne, and they call him Butch. Do you know who Pete Dunne is, Charlie? It's okay if you don't. He was an NXT UK guy, and then he went to NXT, and then they like have just for some reason made him a Peaky Blinder, and I
That
just
whole
don't
thing is.
understand
You
why.
should love it. You should love that whole thing.
I should, but it's not as well written as Peaky Blinders, so I don't. But the thing is this: Pete Dunne is incredible. Pete Dunne is fucking awesome. And in this match, while New Day and Sheamus are wrestling, Pete Dunne just keeps trying to get in the ring to beat the fuck out of these guys. And there's a point where literally Sheamus gets out of the far side of the ring, literally picks up Pete Dunne or Butch, and walks him around the ring and plants him where he wants him to be, like he's a child. And I'm like, dude, Pete Dunne is known for kicking people's ass. And why is he just being this scrappy, stupid fucking gimmick? I haven't seen him do it, so this is new to me. Okay, but man, I was fired up, man. Anyways, this match is whatever. Sheamus' team wins. Now this is the celebrity match. This is Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. I just want to say this. My intention going in was to hate Pat McAfee, even though I don't really hate him, but I want to hate him just because of you. And I have to give credit where credit's due, man. Pat McAfee did really well.
Yep.
Now
Yeah.
he's not a wrestler. but
He doesn't claim
he
to be.
did very well. No, yeah, he
He's just a
doesn't.
dude. We
He's a
talked about
commentary
this.
guy.
He's a
Yeah,
commentary guy, and he just is a fan of wrestling, and he'll say that himself.
yeah,
And I think it's the complete opposite. Remember last week, maybe don't. One of the things we said is like, Brock Lesnar, he's fun, but he doesn't really love wrestling.
yeah.
Pat McAfee loves fucking wrestling, right?
It's like the opposite. Yeah,
If you pay any attention to him, not that expect anybody to or you to, like this dude is a legit wrestling fan, and being able to do what he did at WrestleMania, he literally lived his dream.
yeah.
And
So
he did it
again,
well. He went through the process. He's been training. I mean, this is his
yeah,
third match, right? So he kind of knows his way a little bit. He's still wildly green, but he's been training this entire
yeah.
time, and it shows. He did good. He did good
He did as good as one can,
under the
being that green.
circumstances. Yep.
He has no idea how to sell.
No,
But
no,
why
he
would you
doesn't.
expect him to? Do
Nope.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I didn't hold any of this against him. I'm not talking shit. You know me.
Hmm?
I wanted to talk shit to you right now,
I know.
and I can't
You told me
because
this.
he did
You said as much.
well. Oh, dude, I fucking called my shot. All
Yeah.
right, and
This
then
is
I
going to be the
failed
one I
because
get him on. This is where we're going to argue.
this.
Nope, he did good.
Yep, yep, and he actually did surprisingly well. And to my further surprise, WWE has been very good at bringing celebrities in and having good, entertaining experiences.
Yeah.
I it hurts me to say that because that is not how it always was. Like fucking what's the Drew the fucking dude that did he took over for Bob Barker. He used to
Drew
have his own
Carey.
show. Yeah. Fucking Drew Carey in the ring. That's not fun. Did you ever watch that shit? It was terrible.
I don't remember it.
Drew Carey doesn't give a fuck about wrestling.
Memory of it. But even
Because you pushed it out of your brain because it was fucking
I
stupid.
mean, that's
My point
probably
is,
true. But
now
yeah,
all this
you're
shit is
absolutely
good.
right. Yeah, and Pat,
Weird.
he might not be able to sell like being hurt, but his showmanship in the, I mean, when he put on the fucking
Pretty good.
headset, like that was pretty funny, right? And
That was
the
pretty
thing,
good.
and it was a
playing to his
callback.
strengths.
It was a reference to when Booker T did that years and years
Yep.
ago. He kind of talked about that a little bit today too. He's like, that was me paying homage to pretty much Booker T, like kind of mentored him through the training
Yeah.
for that match. So it was just a cool
Dude,
thing to see.
it was
And
cool.
the
And I
moonsault
gotta
was
say,
a beautiful. It was a really nice moonsault that he.
it's decent moonsault, yeah. And I gotta say, like, I, for as much as I always talk shit about Pat just because of you, I felt the same thing I felt for Stone Cold and Cody and all those guys. I was just fucking happy for him.
Yeah,
For what
he's
you said, like this
living
is
his fucking
dream.
dream, man. And to get what could very well be the last stunner ever delivered. I mean, that's wild. What a
This is what
fucking
happened, everybody.
what a
Pat
memory.
McAfee fucking beats Austin Theory, which is the stupidest thing ever, but it was awesome.
The
Okay,
way it worked,
like
it made
it's
sense. The way
fucking
it worked,
stupid, but it's like awesome. You know what I mean?
it
And
worked.
so then the whole time, by the way, Vince McMahon's sitting out by the announce booth, not with them, but just by it, and he's like, kind of gives these little subtle smirks. He's actually really good at it. He gives these little subtle smirks whenever
He's the
Theory's
greatest
winning,
heel of all time, possibly. People would
and
argue.
when Pat McAfee, yeah, dude, and when Pat McAfee is winning, he's like, I'm all disgruntled, and but he's like far more subtle than he used to be, and he does a really good job. Afterwards, this motherfucker's ready to tear his clothes off and fight this guy because McAfee calls him out and calls him a bitch. Basically, he doesn't call him a bitch, but I mean, like, he's calling him out, and dude starts to take his jacket off. You see all these like pit stains, and then he like puts it back on. And he keeps walking, and then the fucker takes all this shit off. And I told Bryce because he didn't know what was going on, and I was like, if he's wearing a black tank top under that
It's go time.
suit, it's go time. And it was a fucking that classic black tank top. Dude being like 74, whatever the fuck he is,
Jacked.
doesn't look bad.
Dude
Yeah.
is fucking yoked. Like,
Yeah, I mean, looks old now,
sure, because he is
unequivocally.
old. Yeah.
But for that age, yeah, he's jacked. Dude, yeah. So anyways, so they start fighting. Now this part's fucking stupid. Okay? Can we agree to this part?
The
Or did you like it?
unsanctioned match. I mean,
It's
so
fucking so stupid. Like, I like the McAfee match with Austin Theory. That was cool. That's compartmentalized. We're done with that. We put it on the shelf. We both liked it. This is fucking stupid. Now when Stone Cold comes out, it's cool. But this whole part here took way too fucking long.
from
Was done.
what they were talking about, and this could be a work, who knows? That decision to do that was made at that moment because they were just going to walk away, I guess. And when Vince like started doing the thing where like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And the crowd started going nuts. He made the decision to go in the ring and do this unsanctioned match. And I guess there's a moment, I don't remember it. I'd have to go back and watch. But I guess the ref came over and told Pat, like, this is happening now. You're going to fight Vince. Like, in that moment, they made that decision.
Interesting.
Which was,
So I wonder what the Stone
again, I don't
Cold
know if
thing
that's
was
work.
then.
It could have just been, this is Pat on a show. He's part of that universe. He could just be working it. But
Yeah.
that's why would you give away
that's
that
very
thing?
much. Yeah, that's very much how Vince has been in the past too, though.
Yeah.
Like with things like that. So I get it.
Yeah, Stone
But
Cold
it's
was
like the
just supposed to
Austin
come out
thing,
and
though.
like celebrate with him was what was
Congratulate.
supposed to happen.
Okay. I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah, but yeah, it
He's
was
probably
stupid.
just
I
trying
agree.
to save face. So
I mean,
no, they dude, it was fun though. Stone Cold eventually comes out because for some reason 74-year-old Vince McMahon's beating the fuck out of Pat McAfee
who just beat
with the
Austin
worst
Theory.
clotheslines and the worst like everything. You know what I mean? But I
bad.
mean, dude's old. Like I get it. I'm not giving him shit. I'm just saying, it just looks bad, and it goes on forever.
The crowd loved it though. I mean, they were going fucking nuts. So
Yeah, and it's going forever. And then
Took a long
Stone Cold's glass shatters, and he comes out, and he's gonna share a beer with Vince. Of course, he stuns him.
and the worst sell of a stunner.
Vince still can't sell a stunner. Still the worst sell. The motherfucker gets fake kicked in the stomach because Stone Cold will never kick him. He actually fake kicks him. Motherfucker almost falls over, bending over for the kick. And Stone Cold has to walk over to him with a smirk on his face because he almost breaks. And then he has to stun him, and he crumples over like a
So
fucking
bad.
dead human.
It was
okay?
so bad.
In a bad way. It was embarrassing. Okay?
We
So
were sitting
the
there
Pat
watching it,
McAfee
and
match,
both Courtney,
cool.
me and my wife were both just like,
Yeah. The match, Austin Theory, Pat McAfee, fun. This was stupid. But as you said, Stone Cold shares a beer with Pat McAfee and then stuns him, and that was great. And like you said, for being such a wrestling fan, what a great moment to get that stunner. And that'd be fun.
And the new GIF afterwards of Pat trying to drink the beer after being stunned. That
is
meme
I
is
fucking
everywhere.
rolled.
Dude.
He's fucked up, everybody. Go find it. He's
It's
fucked
so
up.
funny.
He's like, and he's still pouring beer. That shit was fucking, dude.
was
Bryce
so
and
funny.
I lost our minds.
Yeah,
That
and
was
I mean,
fun.
that GIF is literally everywhere today. It's so funny.
I did not expect that, and it's fucking stupid. But it's
He's a showman,
funny.
man. He's a showman.
No, fuck him. He ruined everything. I kept texting Charlie. I was like, I blame Pat McAfee. This is stupid. And you're just like, it's not fucking Pat's fault. And you're like yelling at me. I just gotta say this about the main event: Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. We're closing up here.
Injury
right?
report. Roman
All
Reigns
right,
is
what
injured.
happened?
That anaconda vice, it did something to his elbow too or something.
Oh, so whenever he was pointing to his arm and telling the ref he was hurt, he really was.
That match got called early. Paul Heyman made the call, and it ended. They didn't say how soon, but it ended very abruptly because he was injured.
I'm telling you right now, because Bryce and I were both like, so he's been spearing him the whole night, and then this one just works, especially after he just got a little bit of juice.
Yeah.
And then like he beats him. It was lame. The end.
Mm-hmm.
I even have in my notes. I'm like, this was a weird end. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's
I
a
was
lame match
wondering
to
if he
begin
actually.
with. Like it wasn't good, but
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is so I already talked about AJ Styles and Edge doing the WWE style perfectly. I mean that you cannot do it better. I don't think that was perfect. This is WWE style gone wrong.
at its worst.
Period. At its worst. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I'm telling you right now, and I text you this, and you're like, good for you. You're so cool. You were giving me shit. But I told Bryce when we were watching it exactly what was going to happen in this match. And halfway through, Bryce was like, fuck, dude, how do you know this? I'm like, because this is how every pay-per-view main event goes. The two guys will beat each other up a little bit, and then they start doing their signature moves. And then they start doing their finishers: pin, fail, near fall, finisher, pin, fail, near fall. The next guy does his finisher with the reversal, and they just trade, and you never do another move anymore. It's just signature and finishers. That's it. So at a certain point, about, 10 minutes in, what happens with Roman Reigns? He does not do another move other than a spear or a Superman punch. Period. Brock Lesnar suplexes like Germans, and fucking F5s. That's it. That's all it is. And then they just stand there and like showboat.
Yep.
It's fucking horrible.
It's really bad. I generally
It's
don't
the worst.
understand why Roman Reigns is so over to begin with. I've never liked the dude. I don't get it. I don't like maybe it's just WWE pushing him as hard as they have for the past fucking 10 years. Like I just don't get why people like him. I think he's boring. He's good on the mic,
Well,
but
yeah.
man, is he
Well,
boring in the fucking ring.
he wasn't good that night, but yeah, I
Well,
agree. Normally, Roman Reigns is this. Here's the thing: Roman, when he was a babyface, they were trying to push and they're forcing him on us, and everyone fucking hated him. And so everyone's like, he needs to turn heel, and he didn't turn heel for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
is this
Since the
tribal
Shield,
chief
that is.
thing is relatively new, I think. From
Well,
what I
the
understand.
Brotherhood thing or whatever, or like the table,
Yeah, the table. That's what I
bloodline or
meant.
whatever.
Yeah. It's just
The bloodline.
I never got it.
Oh, okay. So, well, I think that's the best thing he's ever done. And the whole thing with the Usos and Paul Heyman and Brock coming back and Paul Heyman being split, it's the best thing WWE's done in years, in my opinion.
Paul Heyman's
Um,
he's a guy, right? So
he's the greatest.
he was
Yeah,
the
he's
one
the greatest.
making the calls from like the creative decisions on that storyline.
Yeah,
Stand.
then give him credit, man. Boom, ECE for the win, or ECW, because the thing is, like, that was the best thing they had going. It still wasn't like the greatest, but it was like, man, dude, I don't watch SmackDown and Raw anymore. I watch all the pay-per-views, but I don't watch the weekly shows because I think they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like, really bad. And when you have a show that's 3 hours long and there's literally like
So
35
fucking
minutes of
long.
wrestling, or like
So
20
fucking-
minutes,
That's why I don't watch Raw. Like SmackDown's not bad because it's hour and a half and it's actually some matches, but
it's the worst. So I don't do it. So my point is, like, I would actually tune in and watch highlights of that shit because I was like interested in what was happening with Paul Heyman and like Roman's doing interesting stuff. And I actually really love that he's been unbeaten for over a year. I actually love that they keep. I know you don't like it, but that they keep bringing people and he keeps beating him because they're building to something huge. And what I guarantee, here's my prediction: he's keeping
you
this
say the
title
fucking
until
Rock.
next year. No, he is. I think he's going to keep the title until next year, and he's going to have a fight with The Rock. But here's what has to happen if that happens, though, because The Rock can't take the title again. Because then who beats The Rock? Because The Rock beat Roman Reigns. How's that going to be realistic? Someone beats Rock. Here's what he has to do. I think The Rock should come in, and because they're distant family members, like cousins or whatever, I think he comes in and he goes, I don't even want the fucking title. I'm here to take you down a peg, right? And then The Rock beats Roman Reigns, but not for the title. Reigns retains the title because it wasn't on the table, but then it breaks him mentally, and he's has insecurity now, and someone can finally beat him because he was broken, and that in some ways will save Roman. It's an interesting enough story. I would love to see that, but you got to wait a fucking year for him to beat a bunch of fucking geeks he's beaten already. Who's left? They're not building anyone new except for Braun Breaker, and he's not ready for Roman Reigns. He'll get murdered. It would make no sense if he won. Gable Stevenson or whatever, whenever he comes in, he's going to be green as fuck. Still, I mean, I know he's like a shoot wrestler. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's fucking great. But it's like, that doesn't mean you're going to have good showmanship. It doesn't mean you're going to sell well.
if anything,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious to watch. I'm going to watch Raw tonight because I want to see. Because I guess he gets on the mic from what I'm seeing right now. If what I've seen of Stevenson so far, he has zero fucking charisma.
Zero charisma.
He is just like Randy Orton and those guys could not get him over last night. He was just so boring. So boring. There's no shot.
He did
He has
a
cool tattoos,
suplex that would make Taz proud. Like, that was a good fucking suplex.
I mean, he launched it, dude. Yeah,
But
it's good. Just
He's
no charisma.
he's more boring than Chris Benoit. All right.
Wow.
Chris Benoit was not great on the mic,
Yeah,
but that dude was the best worker enough that he got enough over that he won the fucking title.
he made
beat Shawn
headlines at the end
Michaels
of his
and
career.
Triple H for the title. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. And that motherfucker couldn't talk his way out of a fucking bag, dude.
Because his
Like,
brains were mush.
he was not good. His brain was fucking mush, yeah. But the thing is, like, he had no charisma on the mic. He just sucked at it. But in the ring, he was the fucking greatest. He's still one of my all-time favorites. Even after what he did, his matches bell to bell, I still are my favorites.
I like how
And
WWE has pretty much just erased his entire history after that
100%.
thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well, back whenever, so this is the last thing I'll say about this, and then I'll be done. The on the old WWE network, when you could flip through to the beginnings and endings of matches, back when they had that, like they'd have little markers.
yeah, I remember.
Whenever you went to one to see what the match was, the Chris Benoit ones would say singles match with Eddie Guerrero, but it would be Chris Benoit. Like they just erased his name. You could still watch them, and I'm so glad they did not erase that, because that's like history regardless. Like I
Yeah,
just don't care that. I just think that's
yeah, you
bullshit.
shouldn't the
Um,
erasure of history and all that sort
but
of
like
platformization. Yeah,
yeah, but like if you want to take his name off, like what I don't really give a shit as long as we can watch this shit. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But my point is, this Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match was fucking boring. It was not good wrestling. It was not even good storytelling. I don't know what the fuck was happening. And Brock Lesnar hurt someone again.
shocking,
So
shocked.
it's like, and this is what our main events are.
Yep,
When we had a match that dude that so Brock and Roman Reigns was like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, though that was a much more fun match. I'm not talking shit about that match, but I'm saying it was to that as AJ Styles and Edge was to the Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat match before. Like it was a billion times better than the main event,
oh, yeah.
and I would watch AJ and Edge go toe to toe in the ring 10 times over before I'd ever say I want to see
McAfee Theory was
fucking
more interesting than that. I mean, it was awful. And granted, I was not expecting a lot. Not only
me neither.
like I don't love Roman Reigns like as a character, but
Yeah.
if you look at it objectively, he's not a very good wrestler. Like he's not good.
Here's the thing. I
He can
actually don't
work.
even know if he's bad. He just doesn't fucking do shit
Well, that's what
anymore.
I'm
You
saying. Like
never know.
I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not saying he's good either. Like he's just mid, and I guess he has
He
something
does
that
a
fucking
fucking
people like.
spear and a Superman punch. That is
It,
all he fucking does
constantly.
anymore.
I've never. What
And they
was?
look good, though his Superman punches look like shit this night.
Oh,
I
he
don't
was
know
hurt.
why, but
Well, I guess he got hurt.
was he hurt at that point?
So
I feel like he was.
when did
Even
he do?
Bryce was like, dude, that looks stupid. I'm like, he's usually really good at this. Like, this usually looks really good, and it looks so stupid
Yeah, I
right
don't
now.
remember where the Vice came in because I think they wrestled for a good like several minutes after he got hurt.
Yeah,
After that happened, I don't remember.
for sure. For sure. And oh no, it was right after that. I remember because he got him in the vice, and that's where Brock was getting juice, right? Like he was
Mm,
getting some more energy. He was getting a second wind, and then he gets one spear and he pins him.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
What? You've been spearing him the whole time,
That's because it's all
even
you
when he was
do.
fucked up.
It's
Now
literally
he's
all
like
you do.
adrenalinized, and you beat him with a spear. I just don't buy it. It's not a lot. Now the injury thing, I get. Like I get it. But man, this was just such a boring match. And this is what like most matches I've seen on pay-per-views in the past few years have been. Even with people like Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. I watched that fucking match. That should be a fucking 5-star banger, dude.
Finn
And
Balor's
it was
awesome.
like
I mean, it
boring
can
like
be.
this. And it's like, what?
I mean, despite the injury, right? Like we get it. This is not like it sucks that he's hurt. Like nobody wants that.
Definitely,
However,
yeah.
this is not uncommon for WWE to fucking drop the
No.
ball on these kind of things. And
The
even if he
fact that I
wasn't
didn't even
injured,
know he was really hurt
yeah,
should tell you something, because this is just how the matches are. But continue.
even if it wasn't that, this it was not leading up to be a good match before he was hurt. Like it just was not interesting. It was
Yeah.
purely playing off of their name power and their charisma.
Yeah.
Cowboy Brock, people
Well,
I like Cowboy Brock. And I hate Roman Reigns, so I guess the thing that I'm supposed to do, I'm doing. I watched it, so
yeah. Tell you who doesn't like Cowboy Brock. That's Bryce. I had a lot of shit talking going there.
really.
We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. Anyways, I'll just say this: we just talked about like 6 pay-per-view or shows,
In
and
less
we did it
time
in
than we
3
talked
hours.
about Revolution.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I told you. I told Charlie. I was like, it's not gonna be 7 hours. I'm prepared. We're just gonna overview some of this shit. We're gonna get through it all. I watched it all. I'm talking about it. I'm not wasting a fucking minute. And he's like, motherfucker, it's gonna take 7 hours. I'm like, no, it's not. All
And
right.
I set up my system so uh, I have live markers where I want to highlight shit, so it should cut down my editing time in half too.
Shit, boy.
Shit, it's almost like we know
I'll
what we're
tell you
doing.
this. I'll tell you this, man. This is a fun weekend. I don't want to do this often. But WrestleMania weekend's super busy because there's all kinds of shit. There were more pay-per-views I didn't even watch. Like there were more shows
Yeah.
and all kinds of shit
Well,
going on last
WrestleMania
weekend.
weekend is always that. Every promotion in the fucking universe goes to the city WrestleMania is and has a show in a gymnasium, in a fucking convention center, in a bar, in a parking lot. That's just
Yeah.
the whole city gets turned into basically WrestleCon was in Dallas. I mean, everything was going on.
Yep.
Everything.
It's like Super Bowl.
It's,
I mean,
it's
people make those
it is
comparisons
it
all the
is
time,
the
but it
Super Bowl
is
of
like
wrestling. What is even the next WWE paper? Is it just like one of the one-offs, like
it's a
Unforgiven?
backlash, dude.
Yeah, it's just in your
Gonna have the
house.
backlash of WrestleMania.
It's
And
in
here's
your
the thing.
house.
Here's the thing too. I don't even like the way WrestleMania looks. It looks like a fucking MTV like award show or
It's a
something.
spectacle. It's what they're going for.
Do you like this though? I know it is. They're successful at what they're doing. I'm just asking on a personal
Do I
level.
like it? I watch it, and I've been watching it
Yeah,
longer than I watch AEW.
fucking annoying to me.
Um,
Yeah.
as a wrestling
Here's the
fan,
thing.
I get
All
it.
it is just like big dumb shit and fireworks. And I'm like, listen, I want that stripped down shit. I watched so NXT Stand and Deliver. Guess what they had? A fucking normal ring. It didn't have like giant LED things on it's like fucking turnbuckle posts. You know what I mean?
Well, that's all
Like it
just
was a normal
for
ring,
TV.
huh?
That's just green screen for TV. It's not actually like
What do you mean?
the barrier and stuff. Like that's all superimposed.
What the fuck?
When you're actually there,
That's,
it's not there.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
Either way, it's obnoxious to
Sure.
me.
I
I
mean,
hate
yeah.
it.
I mean, it's annoying and distracting because it's
Listen,
so bright.
yeah, they're successful at what they're doing. I'm not like throwing shade in terms of like it's like objectively wrong. I just fucking
So
I want wrestling. And if I actually had Edge AJ matches the whole night, I'd be like, fuck yeah, bring on like fucking fireworks and rainbows. Like I don't give a fuck. But the thing is, like, dude, it's like bad matches, and I'm being like assaulted visually by all this stupid shit I don't fucking give a shit about. And I'm
so
just like, dude, get back to wrestling. Give me a fucking normal size ramp. Give me a ring with fucking square posts to, to put AEW over again. But my point is though, like, I don't care. Give me regular posts. Take all the fucking glitz and glam. This is why I liked NXT Black and Gold, the original, because it's fucking dark and dingy.
you don't
There's a
like the
fucking
tie dye?
normal ring. I fucking hate 2.0. And the fact that when it first happened,
Triple H
people were like,
product.
yeah, it's a lot of it's like way more colorful. It's a lot easier to watch. And I'm like, who the fuck are you people? I'm listening to journalists say this, and I'm like, I want the dark dingy. I just want to see wrestling. I don't want all this flashy shit. It's fucking annoying. Sorry, I'm ranty now. But
You are.
anyways, the
It
point
doesn't
is,
bother me. I think it's dumb,
the
but I don't hate it like you do.
yeah, dude,
But
the
to be
fa-
honest, the way I watch these things is I'm usually like I say I watch WWE. The reality is I'm usually doing something on my computer, probably playing video games, and it's on my other monitor. And like if something catches my eye, I then turn my attention to it and like
yeah.
rewind it or whatever because you can do that in the age of streaming. Um, but no, I agree. Like it's not like it's hokey. It is definitely carnival circus bullshit. Uh, but sometimes you get some gems.
Now I don't expect you to have this off the top of your head, but I'm going to ask you off the top of the head to close this out here. Do you have a favorite match of the week? No, I'm not. I know we're not doing of the weeks, but I'm just curious if any of them stood out to you, even if it was Jackass. Like I don't care.
I mean,
Just
the
like
Jackass one, sure. Like things that stood out. Like how does that one not? It was so over the top. But honestly, the out of the stuff that I watched, which is not as much as almost everything. I watched almost actually everything that you did
you
except
didn't watch
NXT
NXT or Ring of Honor.
and Ring of
Yeah,
Honor.
yeah, that's it.
But the match of the week for me is AJ Styles and Edge.
If it
That
honestly
was
were
the
not
best
for the
match.
Briscoes and FTR, yeah, I'd agree.
And maybe
One
next week
and
we'll open the show and I'll tell you if I change my tune to that once I watch it.
yeah,
But right now,
the
Edge and AJ Styles.
and I gotta say, if if Brian Danielson and I'm looking for his fucking name, Wheeler
Wheeler
Yuta
Yuta.
had a fucking pay-per-view level match, it might be as good because that match was fucking
And that
awesome.
was really good too.
But it was not as good as Edge. And dude, it's very rare that my favorite match of any kind of week with WWE would be a WWE match. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. Like if it were not for that tag match, which is match of the year easily for me, it's incredible.
I can't wait to watch that.
I want you. I really, really hope you don't text me and go, "You're stupid. This match sucks," because I will stop this podcast.
How far into that show is it? Because I might just quit the show. I might
Yeah.
start it tonight and probably finish tomorrow.
It's right in the middle too. It's not even at the end. It's not at the beginning. It's smack dab in the middle. But
Well, I
anyways,
guess it's
yeah,
only
I
9 o'clock.
100% respect your choice because that's like number 2. It's a great
I
match.
haven't
Cody
seen
would probably
it.
be my number 3, but
The Cody one
yeah,
was fine too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, WWE
Anyways,
match. I wouldn't have expected it. I will say this was probably the best WrestleMania in several years overall.
sure,
I think the
I
2 night
agree.
thing is a lot of wrestling, but that's WWE style. Either way, it was a fucking crazy last week in wrestling, Austin.
We did it real well. We actually, like you said,
I'm
we
proud
did
of
this
you.
in about the same amount of time as we did our first episode.
It's like we're
So,
getting
I
a
mean, that's
flow.
pretty good. We did our AEW recap in an hour. We should just do that from now on.
I mean, that'd be great.
All right. Anyways, that's it for last week in wrestling, though. Remember to definitely go follow us places. Charlie, tell them where they can follow along.
You can subscribe on YouTube at www.lastweekinwrestling.com. I almost forgot the link. Wouldn't be the first time. On Twitch,
Here you
obviously.
go. I got your back, homie.
There you go. Lastweekinwrestling.com. Twitch, everywhere else basically is LWIW Pod, Instagram, Twitter. What else do we have? I'm drawing a blank.
TikTok, but that's last
TikTok,
week in wrestling.
yeah, that's actually Last Week in Wrestling. Or just click on our bio wherever you are, and we have a link tree, and you can follow us fucking everywhere. TikTok,
dude.
we have daily content on TikTok and Instagram. They're different content. You will not get the same thing on each platform. And sometimes I tweet on Twitter and put words in Austin's mouth, like how much he loves Pat McAfee. It's basically a Pat McAfee fan account. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Yeah, so don't forget to support King's Coast Coffee. kingscoastcoffee.com/LWIW pod. And that'll get you some yummy coffee. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Charlie, that was fun. Thank you for watching, whoever's watching. Even if you watch it later on YouTube.
Where most people watch this, but yeah.
We just covered a billion things. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought. What was your favorite match? I'm actually really super interested to hear that, and also if it is not the Johnny Knoxville match, where does that rank for you? Because for me, that was like the greatest celebrity match. Anyways, I'm done. Charlie, are you done?
I'm hungry and want to go eat.
All right, well, I'm gonna go pee pee. I'll see y'all later. Turn it off, dude.